All right, what is up? Welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are ready for some scorching hot James Bond action. I know I am. I'm very excited to finally take a look at the PC release of Nightfire. What is up, fine folks? Including, but not limited to, Father Axe Keeper, Space Hoppercopter, Why Not, Itinerant Soldier. Welcome everybody. Welcome as well, of course, VOD viewers, lurkers in chat, and everybody else. I am having continued weird issues with Twitch and chat. I don't know what's going on exactly, but in my OBS window specifically, my chat window is just refusing to maintain a connection to the chat room. But I have a plan B sorted here, which looks like it's working okay. It looks like chat's showing up on stream too, so that's fine. Speaking of Twitch issues though, according to Twitch and the stream manager, I have an unstable bitrate. I don't know what that means. OBS tells me I have 0 dropped frames and I don't detect any other issues. Let me refresh this window and see if that makes a difference. Just curious if there's something... if Twitch knows something I don't. Looks good? Yeah, I don't know. Seems good on my end. Well, thanks for reporting. I'm glad to hear that. It's funny because there's a little graph showing the bitrate, and it's like a little bit wobbly and it's red, but it's like hovering about 6,000 kilobits per second. Which thinks it's too high. But yeah, it's weird though, because in the little graph thing, there's like a squiggly red line at the bottom of the graph. It'd be one thing if it's like at the top of the graph. I have no idea how to even interpret that information. My bitrate is like shifting, but it's, you know, it's like variable bitrate, whatever. It's at 6,000, but maybe it's... I don't know. I never ever look at the stream manager window thing. I just had to bring it up now because I needed to see my chat. So I'm just... probably this graph has done this exact same thing on every stream I've done for years. And I've just never noticed it because I've never looked at it. But because I've had some other weird issues going on, I'm like hypersensitive to weird shit going on. So when I see this, I'm a little concerned. But if you guys are not detecting any problems, then we're fine. Then we're good to go. I'm like halfway tempted to lower my bitrate so it's like just below 6,000, see if that'll make a difference, but I don't know. I don't think it should be any problem. But thank you for reporting back. Of course, number one rule of stream watching is if weird shit is going on with the stream, please inform the streamer because they usually have no way of knowing. And if they don't know anything's wrong, then they definitely will have no chance of being able to fix anything. Not to say I would be anyway, but knowing is half the battle, right? Anywho, let's not talk anymore about that boring shit. Let's just hope everything works and keep going. I had naively thought that we might get going with Bond and Nightfire on the PC on Monday, but I was an idiot and forgot that we would get a bunch of fighting game news that I would be excited to talk about. So of course we did that on Monday instead. And it was fun, and there's been a bunch, surprisingly, there's been a bunch of other details coming up in the last 48 hours regarding Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Not a ton in terms of news and details, I guess, but Justin Wong was like the first person to like drop his video content, but there's been a bunch of other like news, like media outlets and etc, etc. But I don't think, I mean, I didn't get a chance to actually watch that video any closer, but I feel between what we looked at on stream and bits and pieces I've seen on Twitter, I'm sure if I watch it, there's plenty more detail to suss out, but in the broad strokes, in terms of what's been explained about the new system mechanics and stuff, I feel like I picked up on most of it. And because one article happened to come across my Twitter feed earlier today, I like skimmed through it, but it's like it was such a, you know, surface level whatever, so it's like it didn't contain any news of any kind, really. But yeah, I'm continuing to be excited about City of the Wolves. However, a little bummed, or at least, wishing it embodied more of older games in the series in addition to Mark of the Wolves. But it looks awesome, and I'm very excited to see what we'll get to see of it in the not too distant future. Evo Japan is about 5 weeks from now, and the game's supposed to be playable there. I'm sure we'll get some kind of trailer or reveal, and if nothing else, we should be getting a lot more actual proper match footage and stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. What's up, Zetsubera? In any case, that's neither here nor there. We had a fun stream on Monday, and earlier today, I was thinking, like, do I want to get started on Bond? Or, like, because part of me really wants to keep playing Cyberball. Anytime I'm not playing Cyberball, at least part of my brain power is fully dedicated to thinking about Cyberball. And I had kind of wanted to actually play more of that on Monday, too, because in my infinite stupidity, I had thought that maybe we could just watch the Fatal Fury footage and then have time over to also play Cyberball. I don't know what led me to that conclusion, but clearly that was wrong. So then, since I had that thought in the back of my mind, I thought, maybe we'll play that on Wednesday. But I thought, you know what? I think we should get started on Nightfire. I don't want to repeat what kind of happened with The World Is Not Enough, where I had intended and wanted to play through all three of them in fairly rapid succession. But then a very short break turned into a slightly longer break, and at the end of the day, like, it had been several weeks in between watching the movie and playing the last one of those games. So if we want to be able to compare the three Nightfire games, I think it behooves us to not dilly-dally, basically. And I figured, fuck it. I needed to do a quick bit of, not so much setup, but just making sure that I had everything running. And it seems like everything's up, running, working, everything. So I figured, you know what? There's no reason not to. Let's just jump into Nightfire. And so we shall. Dreaming of Cyberball? I mean, pretty much. Dreaming of the day that we get to witness the cyber cheerleader robots. That's what I'm working towards. What's up, Pioneer? Welcome. I think, in the name of getting this show on the road, we should do just that. We will, of course, have a little bit of research and lore and data to go over before we jump into the game. Well, let's get to it, shall we? First, before anything else, we'll do a little status check here. We are running the Q Branch Research Funding Initiative to develop the necessary technology to take on additional secret bonus missions. And we are currently about a third of the way there. The way this works is contributions to the channel in the form of subscriptions, donations, bits, etc. Will all contribute Q credits. So 1,000 credits basically is the equivalent of 1,000 bits. If we reach that goal over the course of this stream, we will have completed the daily objective. And once we complete 10 daily objectives, we will unlock the next secret mission. And we are currently at 3 objectives completed out of 10. What is up, Mendel? Greetings. And I'm excited to do the next one. I think from here on out, the secret missions will only get more exciting. What's up? I am Franken. Hello, is the PC version of Nightfire very different from the console one? That's what we're about to find out, but I will say this. It is developed by a different studio. It does not feature any vehicle gameplay. It has 9 missions, which I'm not sure how the math comes out exactly, but the console version had 12 levels, and 6 of them are on foot, and 6 of them are either vehicle levels or like turret levels. So it's possible that, although actually I think some of the stages are like combined turret and vehicle levels. Point being, I don't think the PC version strictly is like 9, like the console game, but 3 levels removed. I think it's a little bit more different than that. But I have played the first 5 seconds of the game and can confirm that the first mission, well, the very first mission, the prologue mission from the console version, is not in the game. I don't think it is. I could skip it anyway. The 5 seconds I played was of the snowy castle level, and it started similarly, but definitely a different like map layout, different level design. So to the best of my knowledge, the mechanics are all different. Like basically it's a completely different game. It's not a port. It's developed from the ground up by a different studio, but they obviously reuse plenty of like graphical assets. The characters are all like the same. It has the same plot. It uses the same like FMVs, I'm sure. And I reckon the gameplay, or like the missions, are all basically built off of the same sort of maybe not the same game design document literally, but the same broad strokes of what you do in the levels, I think, is basically kind of going to be there. But they are different games, so I'm very intrigued to see where we will find similarities and where we will find differences. Anywho, if and when we get some contributions to the channel and to the Q fund, we shall see a little update on the bottom of the screen. And if you would like to check in what the current status is, you can also just do that manually with the !Q command. I am a streamer bot amateur, so I still have not managed to get around to writing or setting up the logic and scripting and whatever we need to get a proper bot response in chat to give you that, which I would like to do. But that's been work I have not yet had the opportunity to set up, unfortunately. But we can still get it. As long as we're on this scene, you can get a status update on the stream itself.
Unspeakable horror awaits you.
Father Axekeeper subscribed at tier 1. Let's get it started. Love to see it. And there you go. Indeed. Subscription is worth 250 Q credits. So we're only 750 away from another daily objective cleared. Thank you indeed, Father Axekeeper. 9 months in the Skull Club gives you a brand new purple skull. Please do enjoy that. And thank you again. With that out of the way, let's inspect the information we can find here about the game in question. Mission number 26 is Nightfire for the Windows PC and Mac, released in 2002, developed by Gearbox. The PC version of Nightfire follows the same plot beats and basic mission structure as its console counterpart. Ooh. Although with different gameplay mechanics, most notably omitting the driving stages entirely. There are 9 total missions, all of which combine stealth, combat, and Q's trusty gadgets, such as your laser watch and X-ray eyeglasses. Fidget subscribed with Prime Gaming. Thank you very much indeed. We appreciate that. Really appreciate that. So yeah, we know the broad strokes of the plot. This game will tend to kind of exist and be experienced in the context of how it differs from the console version. I have not as many pieces of material to go over here before we start playing as we did for the console game, but there's a few things to look at. There's a video clip. I think it's some kind of a trailer, and I have some scans of the box as well as the manual. So we'll go through the manual and see if maybe we can get some maybe we can suss out some of the differences from the console game already in the manual, just based on what they describe and what's maybe omitted compared to the game we have already experienced. But why don't we start setting the tone here by watching trailer. 1 second here. That definitely did not look like Pierce Brosnan. It looked more like the Agent Under Fire model. Okay, 2 FPS climbing. Called Mission 1. And this is so bizarre. Like, everything is recognizable, but it doesn't look the same. Putting on the shutter shades and just becoming completely blind. Dude, like, alright, this looks pretty sick. Like, all the stunt climbing and shimmying and everything. I'm excited, dude. Did that happen in the console game? I forget. I guess that might have been part of the FMV after you clear the first mission. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, the video quality is a bit all over the place there. But luckily, we're going to be playing the game with a modern fan patch to make it perfectly playable on modern PCs. There was a few things that I was actually surprised. Like, HUD scaling seemed to not really be a thing. So the HUD's going to be really tiny. I feel like that's like one of the first things you'd want to fix if you enable high resolutions. But I haven't gone like super overboard. Just basically try to get it to look decent, but also run properly. But also realistically, if I'd played this on 2002 on PC, I probably would have played it in like 1600 by 1200 resolution. So that's not exactly... that's not really cheating or applying... Like, it's not giving us a an experience that is not representative of what it would have been back in the day, I think. Either way, we're gonna have to fudge it a little bit and just get it as close as we can, basically. I wonder if they got legit Japanese voice actors for the Japan stage like the other version. Well, I'm not sure. I guess they got people who sort of spoke Japanese, sort of. I don't remember exactly what it sounded like, but it didn't sound... It was... it was in Japanese. But they probably got some local dudes in LA who could sort of speak Japanese, I guess. Like, yeah, they had like... They didn't sound like native Japanese, for sure. And some of the lines were definitely a little funny sounding, like just the actual lines of dialogue. But I think they, compared to the standards of the time, they did a remarkably good job of at least attempting authenticity. I mean, especially in contrast to the actual, like, levels and missions and story. Like, the barks from the random enemies were like the most authentically Japanese thing of everything to do with the Japan aspect of the game. You know, so there is that. Let's see, we can some mild jams in the background to keep us company as we take a look at the other materials here. So this, I believe, is the box. It came in some kind of folding... I forget what you call it, but it's like a fold-out thing here, I guess, because there's like multiple pages. I don't know. Let's take a look. It's basically like advertising the game after you bought it, which, sure, makes sense. Oh yeah, this is the, like, you have 60 seconds to save the world. Go. I think this list, yeah, it's the file name says like inside cover, so this was like from Moby Games or something. But yeah, you have 60 seconds to save the world. Go. Do more in 1 minute than most others do in a lifetime. This, like, tagline was used in some other ad. I don't know what the deal is with that, because it's not like... If this was like Time Crisis or something, it would make sense. But this game does not feature any kind of time mechanics or anything, so it's a little peculiar why they chose this, you know, this direction. But anyway, let's see what it has to say. Run by the well-known international industrialist Raphael Drake, the Phoenix Corporation has been in the news lately for its efforts to decommission nuclear weapons. Recent intelligence, however, suggests that there are more sinister motives behind Drake's activities. Once again, 007, the world needs you. Infiltrate a heavily fortified mountain castle near the Austrian border. Yeah, that's the first mission. Protect innocent hostages at a Japanese estate guarded by highly trained and heavily armed assassins. So that's kind of interesting, just looking here. These, like, ninjas were not in the console game. There's one sort of ninja-esque assassin character who's like the boss of this level, and they show up again. Some of those guys show up in, like, the at the very end, the end of the second to last stage, or really the end of the final real stage before the final boss fight, where you're in that missile launching area. Some of these show up again, but they don't look like this. They all have, like, these shiny tights or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. Already we're seeing something that's not in the console game. Defeat Drake's army of elite paramilitary commandos on a nearly deserted South Pacific island. Engage in low-gravity combat inside a space station armed with nuclear missiles. Be vigilant at all times in your mission to stop Drake, and always remember that no one, not even your closest allies, can be trusted. For instance, this lady here that you will befriend, she will probably betray you, which you would never suspect given that she obviously looks like a villain. And also, we are foreshadowing it quite heavily by talking about it in the box right here, but that's fine. So, we're seeing some interesting things here, I think, already. This dude right here, like, I'm guessing, I don't know, you can't see much here, but I guess these are like the enemies that we fight on the, like, Pacific Island level or whatever. But notably, the console game does obviously feature the hidden tropical island, but there's no on-foot segment. Well, technically, the hidden base is on the island, but that's like all gray hallways. This environment is only featured in a driving stage and a flying turret stage. So this would suggest that for the PC version, there's actually... And, you know, that would make sense, because if you want to have that aspect of the plot represented in the game, and you don't have the vehicle stages, it would be very difficult to make it make sense. Like, oh yeah, we have to find the hidden base on this island or whatever. And you just... the next level, you're just already infiltrated the HQ, because in the console version, first you do the driving stage, because you have to, like, destroy... There's, like, these radar dishes that you have to destroy to stop a jamming signal so that MI6 can, like, figure out where the base is or something. So you do that first, and then you do a flying level, I think. I forget exactly the order, but then after that, you figure out that the base is underwater. So there's you get the, or maybe, man, am I getting it all mixed up? Is the boat level first? No, I think it's a cutscene or something of him driving the boat up there. But eventually you do this underwater submarine car level. Because I want to say that level ends with you, like, getting to the base. I think that's the last one before the HQ. But anyway, it's like 2 or 3 levels that are on this island that are all, like, vehicle based, and that's presumably not going to be in this game at all. So I'm assuming this part is kind of making up for that. And then it says engage in low gravity combat inside a space station armed with nuclear missiles. So in the console game, the back of the box brags about the zero gravity combat mission or whatever. And there is exactly one zero gravity mission, and that's the final boss. And it's cool. I like that level. But it you know, there's a cutscene of Bond in his spacesuit. Good old Bond spacesuit. Going up in a rocket to get to the space station, and then the actual level is just you're floating in space around the exterior of the space station, stopping it from firing lasers toward Earth or rockets or whatever. So if we are to take this at face value, this would make it sound like there is a level in which we traverse the interior of a space station, doing combat or what have you. So that might be different. And then we're gonna get betrayed, and this is part of the plot, so yeah, I figure that that's gonna be the same. IMDb says Hiroshi Tagoro voiced the Yakuza thugs. Yeah, you know, sounds about right. It didn't sound like someone was trying to speak Japanese phonetically. But probably whoever was in charge of like the direction was probably not well equipped to direct that performance, which is, you know, for a background thug, who gives a shit? It's fine. Like I said, A for effort, above and beyond given the expectations at the time. 24 was popular around the time. I wonder if they simply went with the zeitgeist for the marketing. I mean, I guess that's not an unreasonable take. Do you have what it takes to be Bond? Deadly and sometimes familiar villains, like Oddjob and Jaws, make every move a potentially dangerous one. Online battles with up to 32 people and challenging AI enemies in more than 15 exotic locations deliver the most challenging multiplayer action ever. 9 action-packed single-player missions filled with beautiful women and treacherous enemies demand your immediate attention and utmost skill. Special gadgets, including Q-specs for infrared night and X-ray visibility, the Phoenix suitcase turret gun, and the laser watch. Exciting stuff. I just love that Oddjob and Jaws is all in caps and bolded. It's not Oddjob in bold and Jaws in bold. It's the two of them, like they're, you know, it's like fucking Hall & Oates, except it's Oddjob and Jaws, like all that classic duo. It's pretty funny. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's always the fucking two of them. And yeah, good old Bones. But I'm excited to see, you know, it's just funny the way they have, like, this definitely makes it seem like these guys are going to show up in the main game. But I would assume that this is just, you know, basically talking about multiplayer. So 15 multiplayer maps sounds like significantly more than the console version. We checked out the multiplayer mode of the console version, which was like surprisingly elaborate in some ways with all the different modes and stuff, and it has bots, but there's some pretty funky limitations to it. From my understanding, this new like fan patch thing for this game, I just skimmed through some notes in some readme or something, but it seems like it, you know, it's basically, among the many things it does is to kind of accommodate playing online. I would not assume that I could just hop on in and find an online game to play, and if I could, I'd be going up against some fucking lunatic who's been playing this for 20 years. But I'm tempted to, once we finish the campaign, to at least look up the possibility of playing this online. And even if we don't do it now, maybe, certainly no promises, but I'm curious to look up the feasibility of doing like viewer games, like just doing online multiplayer with you guys. If it's at all possible, I think that might be a really fun thing to do. One One thing I noted when we played the console version was that the multiplayer maps were like shockingly barren and really boring, just visually. Like the main game looks great and is fun and cool, but obviously for the multiplayer, you have to account for way more players, AI and shit, so it stands to reason that the levels would have to be a little more simplified. But for a PC game in 2002, you wouldn't really, you know, you would have a different set of expectations. I remember the multiplayer in the console version being like sort of cool-ish, even though I didn't spend much time with it. But coming back to it the other week, like I felt pretty unimpressed. I'm sure for people playing it, like you would have a fun time, but there really didn't seem to be anything terribly remarkable about it. I'm not exactly expecting terribly remarkable out of this, but I think Gearbox has like a solid enough track record, and given the standards of like a PC first-person shooter in 2002, odds are there's going to be more to it than the console game. So at the very least, I'm curious to look into it. There are community servers for the PC version of this game. Most of them are European too, so this works out well. Well, like I said, I'm curious to do a little research on it, at least. I would say most likely is we will probably not consider this too seriously at the moment, but in my own time I will look into it a little closer, and if it seems like it's going to be doable and a reasonable thing to attempt, we would probably do it as either like a bonus mission or a sub goal, like milestone special stream or something. But we might just do it anyway. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it, but the possibilities are intriguing, at least. Nightfire training arc starts now. I don't know. What's up, LCC? I mean, you guys are free to grind out. I don't know that I'm gonna spend much time training, but I'm curious to see what it's like. Yeah, so we have the gadgets, and it's just funny that they brag about the Phoenix suitcase turret gun, which is like the most obnoxious, annoying, meaningless thing in the game. Just terrible to use. But it's cool, I guess. Yeah, powered by GameSpy, that's what I figured. So I guess they had to like yank out the whole GameSpy shit and replace it with something that functions in the 21st century. Oh. Alright, so it's like the little case, I guess. Alright, everyone's here. Alright. Let us then quickly skim through the manual and see if we can learn anything of value. Give me a second to set this up, and we shall take a look. All right. What can we learn here? It looks very similar to the console manual. Unsurprising, I guess. Controls, setup, bond in action, gadget/action moves. I wonder if that's related to bond moves. I wonder if the bond move system is at all present in this one. Characters, missions, bond equipped, multiplayer menu. Saving and loading. All right, well. Introduction. Incoming transmission from M. The world is once again in need of your talents, 007. As you know, Phoenix International Corporation, run by the international green industrialist Raphael Drake, has been entrusted with dismantling warheads throughout the world. These efforts have been billed as being philanthropic in nature, but we realize he has more sinister motives. Intelligence implicates Drake in organizing the theft of a secret component of the missile guidance hardware intended for the US space weapons platform. Unfortunately, Drake has been very careful to keep his plans well hidden. This is where you come in, 007. With some help from Q and a number of key agents in the field, you must stop Drake in his plans for total world domination. I like that M's not like jumping to any conclusions or anything. Intelligence suggests that there's something going on here, so Clearly, this guy is aiming for complete, total world domination. I mean, I guess, spoiler alert, that turns out to be accurate, but it's just pretty funny. Like, we've got a lead here. We've got something suspicious that we want to investigate. So, just to be safe, we should probably assume that this guy is aiming for total world domination. But also, M, I guess, cannot spell Raphael's name, or someone can't spell it because it's spelled with an F and it was spelled with a PH previously. Complete controls. Get to know these controls intimately, 007. You can walk, turn, look, jump, crouch. Oh, we got lean keys. Pretty advanced. Leaning left, right. Cycle weapon / inventory with a mouse wheel. Reload, use / action. Fire weapon, alternate fire, drop item. And then we have shortcut keys for all the gadgets, I guess, which is nice. You don't really get that on console. F key for Q specs, V key for Q specs mode switch. G to switch weapon / gadget inventory modes. We're gonna have to fumble around with this a little bit in the game, I think, before we can completely make sense of it. Tab to view objectives / hints. Quick save and quick load. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I guess, I mean, that's how you would play a PC FPS at the time. It's just like, it seems strange because I don't know that I've like ever played something on stream where I would like quick save and quick load. I'm going into this with the expectation that I won't use it, or at least won't be looking to like use it. But who knows how the game is like expected to be played. It's obviously giving us the ability, but I would hope that the game doesn't fully, at least, you know, maybe on the highest difficulty or so, but beyond that, I wouldn't expect the game to be built in such a way that you are expected to be like quick saving around every corner. I mean, there was certainly a time where I would have played most games like that, whether I'm playing a PC FPS or an emulator, but that's been a long time. That was, you know, probably when this came out, I would play games like that a lot. Just interesting to have to even consider that, because it's not typically a factor. Setting up the game. Yeah, okay. I figure we can... I don't think we need to really read how to click new game. Video settings, yeah. Bond in action. Saving the world means keeping an eye on everything around you, 007. So current weapon or gadgets in Bond's hand makes sense. Bottom right is ammo. Center bottom of the screen says gadget / action icon. We saw that in the trailer, right? There's a green little thing at the center of the screen at the bottom. And there were similar indicators in the console game for like when you have a grapple point nearby, or when you can do a zip line. So I guess it's a similar idea here. Iris and health meter. Wow, okay. The health meter is fine. When your health meter is a complete blue circle, you possess 100% health. As your health depletes, the circle's segments disappear. Then it says iris. When the iris blinks, a new hint is available. I guess the control said that we press the tab key for hints / objectives. So maybe that's just like an indicator of the like basically reaching kind of a checkpoint, and there's a new sort of objective description of where you're supposed to go or what to do. That's interesting. Current weapon or gadget is your current weapon or gadget. Thanks. That's helpful. Gadget / action icon. When an icon appears, perform or use the conveyed action or gadget. See more on page 8. Oh yeah, it says to view a new hint when the iris blinks, press tab. Right. Gadget / action moves. When you need to climb a wall, perform a hand-over-hand move, or burn something with your laser watch, a green or blue rectangular icon appears on screen. This tells you that you can perform a gadget or action move. Hand over hand. This is like, what kind of terminology is this? Hand over hand. I've never seen or heard someone use this term. But whatever. Hand over hand. To perform a hand over hand move, when the green hand over hand icon appears, press E and view switches to third person. We're really hammering home this term. W and S to move forward and back, E to drop. So that's basically the same as Nightfire. And I remember I'd seen that trailer for this. I'd seen it sort of when I was grabbing it before. And when I saw that trailer, I was like, huh, yeah, wow, this is already different from the console version, because that didn't have these third-person things. But then, of course, it does. In the console version, it's the same. Whenever you do the climbing and stuff, it actually does swap to a third-person view. So then I was, like, confused. Did I remember anything? And as it turns out, when we played through the console version, I really didn't remember anything of that game. But it looked like in the trailer that there were, like, climbing... Yeah, like wall climb. That's not in the console game. Wall climbing and ledge strafing moves happen automatically. When in a position to perform these moves, your view automatically switches to third person and the wall climb or ledge strafe icon appears on screen. That's so funny. Like, if it's already so, like, automatic, what even is the point of the icon? Like, the icon at the bottom of the screen is there to tell you that your camera has shifted into something totally different? Like you wouldn't notice that otherwise? That's funny. Use item. When the use item icon appears, you are being given a hint to interact with the item present. Press E to use the item. Level transition ahead. The level transition ahead icon indicates that you are coming close to leaving a level and serves as a reminder to complete all the activities in the area before proceeding. That's nice. I don't think that caused issues exactly in the console game, but that game also very clearly has these checkpoints. Sort of each level is split up into like multiple maps, so that, like, you have sort of an exit where you move on, and if there's optional stuff to find and do, it'd be nice to know. So that's a cool little thing. Hack item, Q worm, and laser watch. These three symbols indicate that the respective gadget is appropriate to use where you are. I think that's useful, and I think if the game had any sense, you would press a universal interact button so that when you're standing somewhere where the hack item icon appears, you press the key and the hacking device gets equipped, instead of having to cycle through them or pick them from a menu. They're getting this close to figuring out that that's how you would want to use gadgets. Like, trying to... I can't think of a Bond game that has ever had a gameplay element that's like fun, that consists of trying to determine which of your gadgets you're supposed to use and whether or not the thing you're trying to interact with is the right one. Like, you know, Q's gonna say like, oh, hack the modem to download the data files, and you're like, all right, do I hack it with my sequence decryptor, or do I hack it with my signal downloader? Do I hack it with my modem jacker? Like, you have 5 gadgets that are all vaguely overlapping in their purpose, and then you have to figure out, like, all right, I'm supposed to hack the mainframe. Is it this thing that's a green box the size of the room, or is it this monitor on a desk, or is it this thing that looks like a VCR in the security room? Like, you know, it's kind of hard to figure out sometimes, and there's like little feedback. And in situations like that, I feel like the game, I don't feel more like I'm embodying James Bond. I don't feel like I'm getting closer to the fantasy of being James Bond when I experience that confusion and like uncertainty of what my gadgets are, how they work, and where I'm supposed to use them. Yeah, GoldenEye is like that for every gadget thing, basically. But it's not the only game to have that. In Nightfire 2, we had a fair amount of that, even though it was kind of a little bit better than some other games. And having, like, it's cool conceptually to have, like, a gadget with a very specific use. But if you have, like, 60 gadgets and you have to understand which one to use, and you cannot logically intuit, like, you're not really rewarded as a player for figuring out, oh, I should probably use this one. Like, you have to do the exact intended thing, or else you will get 0 results. If that's the way it's going to be, I would much rather, like, not even have an active inventory, but just like, all right, I walk up to this thing, I press A, and Bond will pull out whatever thing he needs and suavely hack the mainframe, and then we're done, you know? I think the ideal would probably be if there's, like, mission critical things that are kind of like that. And then there might be other things in the level that are optional where you, if you can like think to use a gadget that hasn't been, you know, in a way that has not been told to you and that isn't being explicitly demanded of you, you could sort of get something out of it. You could like perform some kind of optional thing to get a secret reward of some kind, or, you know, that could be super cool. But the way it's handled in most of these games is like really clunky. You just swapping between gadgets is a hassle. There's always like a good chunk of trying a gadget and go, is it this one? No, I don't think so. Wait, do I use it here? It doesn't seem like it, but I don't know. Wait, do I try this? And like, it's just awkward. So I think this game seemingly telling you a little more straightforwardly, like we know from reading the manual that if I'm in a situation where there is no icon, there's no point in even bothering trying the gadget. I mean, unless there are some hidden interactions, but I strongly doubt it. And if there are, the game doesn't tell me about it. I don't know if I can press a button to just drop, bring up the appropriate gadget right away, but even then, having this system to tell me when I need to use a gadget, and also from the looks of things, having a very limited supply of different gadgets, so I don't have to cycle through 45 of them, those are all things that are going to make for a smoother experience. Granted, I think the console version of Nightfire also didn't really have a ton of gadgets. Like if you go to the menu, the library, journal, whatever, and look through the list of gadgets, half of them are for the car. And some of them I don't know if they're used. So like the glasses aren't mentioned here, but they're kind of a vision mode option thing. I guess they don't really count as something you actively use. But yeah, I'm intrigued. It's very, it's very much the same as it was with Batman, right? Over the course of Batman games, how Batman's gadgets are used changes and evolves. And up until the point of like the Arkham games where there's a, you tap a button to throw a batarang, which will automatically hit its target. There's no clunky first-person aiming. Or, I mean, technically you can do that also, but there's no like forced aiming. There's no stopping to bring up a weapon wheel to equip stuff. And like everything about using gadgets in something like Dark Tomorrow is like hilariously clunky. And eventually, stuff was figured out that, we can smooth this out, we can streamline this, it'll probably make for a better experience. And I'm very curious to see if we will have that experience with Bond games, because I think right around this time, like early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, is where we started seeing a lot of that streamlining in these types of games. So because we get a pretty steady stream of like big console Bond games between 2002 and 2012, I'm curious to see if that aspect is how it's handled. I should say, not necessarily if it's improved, but just how it's handled. Characters. Yeah, it's it's all the same basically, right? Dominique Paradis. The stunning French beauty is ideally suited for deep undercover operations. She's also a small arms and explosives expert. Enlisted to track down a missing nuclear warhead, Dominique has infiltrated Drake's organization. Make close contact with her 007. You will need all of her considerable skills to gain access to Drake's plans. Zoe Nightshade. You'll be paired again with an old ally, Zoe Nightshade. Agent Nightshade, as you know, is a rising CIA field agent. Her driving skills are world class. So, I'm trying to remember. There's a stage in the game where she drives and you're in the turret. I think that's like basically the extent. Well, she's present. No, that's right, because she you meet her. Zoe and Dominique are both in the opening mission. And because Dominique is undercover working for Drake. And you meet up with Zoe during the mission and things go sideways and you have to explode a helicopter and peace out. And then in the next stage, it's the snowmobile chase. So she's driving and you're manning the turret. And then I think she kind of exits the game after that, if I recall. And then Allura McCall shows up for the later parts of the game. An Australian intelligence operative on loan to MI6, Allura McCall is extremely adept with a variety of firearms. You'll find her services very useful, I'm sure. Yeah, this is all the same. I don't feel like we need to go over this in great detail. Raphael Drake, still spelled with an F. Armitage Rook, aka Virgil. Alexander Mayhew, who we will also be introduced to in the first level, basically. It's highly likely that Mayhew has key information at his country estate outside Tokyo. And that's where we're going to go. And I like that Makiko Hayashi is just listed under enemies. Makiko Hayashi is the bodyguard for Alexander Mayhew. Her diminutive appearance belies a body lethally honed in the martial arts. Her loyalty to Mayhew is unquestioned. Yeah, speaking of the culturally authentic Japanese parts of the game. But yeah, she's introduced. Well, we'll see. She's not really introduced as a villain. But then, until she is. Missions. Outsmart and maneuver your way through these missions in order to save the world. Remember, the most important thing is to complete your mission objectives. I'm not going to read this in detail, but it sounds like, just from the names of the missions, so Rendezvous is the first mission of the console game. Well, again, I guess it's the second mission, because Paris Prelude is the first one. The sniper helicopter level that basically just acts as an unrelated Bond film opening action scene. And that's not here. Airfield Ambush is not in the console version. Uninvited Guests, I guess, is the Japan mission. Phoenix Rising was where we infiltrate the Phoenix Corp, like Tokyo headquarters. Hidden Agenda. Not sure if it's the same mission or a mission that was there or not. I think it might be. High Treason, Island Getaway, Zero Minus Re-Entry. I think all of these mission names are different. So there seems to be some pretty different sets of levels here. So again, I'll try to, like, because the excitement in this case is more about how it's going to differ, I'm happy to go in a little more blind than I would otherwise. Normally I'm perfectly fine just giving up or you know, taking all the information in that that the manual is handing out. Well, you can read it if you want, but I'm gonna not pay attention. You can even read it on stream. Body armor. Body armor comes in very handy when not amongst friends. Armor comes in two varieties: a full armor jacket or individual armor plates. Full jacket restores your armor to 100%, while plates add incrementally. Note, body armor cannot protect you from injury caused by falling from heights or drowning. So drowning implies swimming, and that was not a thing in the console game. Weapons. I guess we're gonna have... Yeah, it looks like it's all the same weapons, which makes sense. The Wolfram P2K is the Walther P99. The Kowloon is the Glock. Raptor Magnum. Well, I guess... Is the PPK not in this then, I guess? Maybe not. Because in the console game, you start with the PPK, and then from clearing like medals, you get rewards for levels. And the rewards, a lot of them are like multiplayer unlocks and stuff, but some of them are upgrades. So you upgrade from the PPK to the golden PPK to the P99, and then eventually the golden P99. But I think the manual within the console game also didn't list every single weapon in the game. So there might be other weapons than just these. Yeah, so the Raptor Magnum, I think, is the Desert Eagle. Because I don't think there was like a revolver. But I might be misremembering. Machine guns. The Storm M932. Also known as the Sturm or Ruger. This is a reliable lightweight machine gun. I think that's the like the mini Uzi, I think. Swiss SG5 Commando, whatever, the SIG assault rifle. Munitions Belga PDW 90 is the P90. specialized weapons. The Frenesi Automatic 12. Yeah, that's the Spaz 12 shotgun. Seamaster UP44. This dart pistol is the only weapon that can be used underwater. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? That there's going to be a swimming level because the plot's going to be, you know... I mean, I don't know if all of the cutscenes are going to be the same either, because there's several cutscenes where Bond drives his underwater submarine car, and it's going to be real weird if the cutscene... the cutscene ends with Bond, like, driving his car into the ocean, and then the level starts and you're just swimming. I mean, that would be very funny, but I don't think they're going to do that. So maybe we'll get some actual new, like, FMVs and stuff for this game. Either way, I guess there's, like, an underwater harpoon dart gun. So that's something that wasn't in the console game, because swimming is not in that game. Winter Covert Sniper, yep. Militech Mark 6 multi-grenade launcher. The AT-420 Sentinel is the rocket launcher, yeah. Portable tube-launched missile launcher, apparently. Yeah, Phoenix International Experimental Laser Rifle. Right, that one was in the other one. Phoenix International X6 Annihilator. Drake's R&D weapons divisions developed this belt-driven rapid-fire shoulder cannon under tight secrecy. We've observed Phoenix's elite squads armed with the X6, so you'll likely encounter them at some point. Be careful, 007. You don't want to be on the wrong end of this weapon. So... Whoops, let me drop my phone. In the console game, Drake's elite troops had the, like, OICW or whatever it's called. The big-ass rifle with the Terminator RoboCop vision scope. But that one is based on a real weapon. This makes it sound like there's some other super weapon that's completely fictional that those guys are gonna have. So that might be a little different. I don't know what the Moonraker laser behaves like in the film or in GoldenEye, but I don't know if they compare specifically in terms of function. But basically, the Phoenix laser rifle, at least in the console Nightfire, I don't know what it's like here, sort of is like a lightweight railgun. It's basically like an instant... it's not like a Star Wars blaster with projectiles. It fires like an instant beam, but then it builds up heat. So if you fire it frequently, you'll overheat and have to wait for it to cool off before you can shoot again. And there's like an alternate fire where you can hold the button to like charge it up all the way, and then you fire like a mega railgun. But that was like super impractical, so I didn't really use it much. There's fragmentation grenades, laser trip mines, flashbang grenade. Oh yeah, the flashbang. That's pretty funny when I threw a flashbang into the room, the door closed, the flashbang went off, I was blinded, I kicked down the door and go into the room, and the guards in the room were not blinded. I wonder if flashbangs work a little better in this one. Alright, so we have a gadget list, and it looks already like there are, in fact, quite a few more gadgets than ones we saw hinted at in the interaction icon. There's the stunner from the car keys. That's right, you can use that to get some kind of special... Like, there was always the objective, or like the goal for levels, to have stunned enemies. The way sort of stealth was integrated, it didn't seem like the stunner was ever super useful or important in the console game, but we'll see if it's different here. Laser watch for locks and wires, yep. Cell phone grapple. Yep. So it's funny that the grapple hook has an on-screen icon to indicate where you can use it in the console game, but it sounds like it doesn't in this one then. Dart pen. Another ingenious QLab device, this ordinary-looking pen houses a powerful tranquilizer dart. This gadget is an extremely useful and highly effective means of subduing a target while remaining stealthy. That's not in the console game. Decryptor. Is that in the other one? Maybe. Who knows? Like, all of these hacking devices are so, like, interchangeable. What's up, Doom Noob? Lasers in that movie look so goofy. I mean, I'd expect nothing less. I have seen the film, but not in probably 25 to 30 years. We'll get to it. We'll watch it together at some point. I can't recall. I think it's possible that 007 Legends, which is the final game that we're going to be playing, that game is sort of structured around, what is it, 5 or 6 movies, where like there's one movie from like each actor's Bond tenure that's represented. And I don't remember specifically, but it's possible that Moonraker is the Roger Moore movie that's represented in that game. Because I think it's Goldfinger, on a Majesty's Secret Service, logically, License to Kill, and I think it might be Die Another Day. That's like the Brosnan movie, and it might be Moonraker. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But whatever movies are represented in that game, we will definitely watch all of them, including rewatching films we've already seen. I definitely won't mind rewatching Goldfinger or License to Kill, for sure. But beyond that, whether we do that before or after, I will want to watch every Bond film for the purposes of documenting and calculating the Bond quotient and everything, if nothing else. And if I'm going to watch them, I might as well watch them on Discord with you guys. So every Bond movie we'll get to at one point or another, but it might be a year or two from now. Moonraker's the second appearance of Jaws. I know he's in it, but I don't remember the order of the films really, or which ones he is in. Been watching Dr. No and Russia from Love not long ago. Shockingly, I don't think, at least, I've seen From Russia with Love. Like, I know that some of the scenes in it, but if I have seen it from beginning to end, it must have been at least 30 years ago. Dr. No, I have watched more recently. I mean, I definitely watched that as a kid, but I've seen that at least in the last 10 to 15 years, I want to say. So I've definitely seen that more, but I wouldn't say that it's, I don't know. There's a lot of, I watched Bond films with some regularity in my childhood, but I haven't really been doing so in my adult life, except watching new ones as they come out, more or less. So I look forward to getting to those. But we watched Goldfinger, which is the third one, yeah. Before we played the Goldfinger text adventure game, of course. And that one's a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie. If Richard Kiel had gone into wrestling after Moonraker, would I have watched his matches? Well, realistically, I didn't and haven't and probably wouldn't sit down to watch a lot of like 70s wrestling. Realistically, if someone told me that there is a Richard Kiel versus Andre the Giant match from 1982, you know, I wouldn't refuse to watch it. But you know, for all my interest in wrestling, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that lumbering 8 feet dudes are like my favorite kind of wrestling. But you know, it's a fun, I mean, maybe maybe I'd watch a wrestling match between Richard Kiel and Roger Moore. But I digress. Anything else here in the manual? Camera, Q-Specs, Q-Worm, the Phoenix Ronin, the much lauded machine gun in a suitcase, which is just obnoxious to try and use. And we'll see. Maybe it works better in this one. Actually, let me read what it says about the Q specs, because I think they were in the console game, but we never used them. These glasses are the latest generation of military technology with upgrades performed by QLab. They enhance ambient light and have thermal imaging capabilities for viewing in near-infrared light. Additionally, they are powerful X-ray imagers with the ability to see through walls, flesh, and clothing. The battery is limited but self-charging, so please use them conscientiously. Curious where we might even be, like where they might be useful. Yeah, multiplayer stuff. Yeah, that's, I'm just reminded seeing the edit agent section here where it's talk about like combat training model, team MI6 model, team Phoenix model, where I guess, yeah, combat training model, I guess is, yeah, like free for all, and you pick MI6 or Phoenix for which model you want to use if you're in a team game. And I'm just reminded about the dumbass absurd thing in the console game where if you play a multiplayer game, you can't have more than one good guy. Like, if you have Bond in the game, no other good guys can be in the game. It has to be all villains. Unless you play, like, good guys versus bad guys. Like, it's absurd. Anyway. I wonder if this has that. I feel like I doubt it. Like, I feel like Gearbox would understand multiplayer PC shooters better than to think that that's, like, a sensible thing to do. But I don't know. We might find out. But yeah, that's the manual. Not a lot of revelations, but the what little we did skim through in the mission section, pretty interesting, because it seems like there's going to be some levels that are more or less one-to-one in terms of not the layouts, but like what you do in the mission and how it advances the plot. But there seems to be quite a few that's actually different. So with that, I think we're ready to go. Now, this is a PC game, so even with recent patching and everything to make it functionally, you know, runnable, playable, functional, there's probably going to be some funkiness going on with audio levels and stuff. I looked at it and tried to set it up roughly best I can. I think when we first boot it up, there's going to be an intro movie which does not respect my audio levels setting, so it might be mega loud, but I think my limiter will protect your ears from exploding, but probably gonna max out and like clip my audio mixer, but hopefully it should be mostly fine. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We need some timing peripherals here, so let me move that over here. That's fine. And this launcher, that
EA Games. Challenge everything.
Don't love me quietly, do it with intensity. We'll miss the point. When with everything you stray, oh, there's no love to be gained. 'Cause we all need a civilized. When I could almost love you more.
I like the timid little Nightfire whisper. What's up, Zero Dine? Yeah, this is the same intro. The menu, everything looks a little different. We actually have a proper static picture of Bond. We don't have creepy CG breathing into the receiver of his phone Bond from the console version, where he's just like hovering and leaning instead of literally being a still image. 22 damn years later, I'm still befuddled as to why they did it that way. But Gearbox had the right idea and just put a picture. I wish that the opening had opening credits, and I wish it played after the opening level to get the proper full Bond experience. But clearly, just actually creating that sequence and the way it like aesthetically looks and how it's put together, it's the only time so far in the history of Bond games where someone has made a real attempt at like recreating that very, very memorable and distinct aspect of Bond films in a game. So let's just double check all this. I think everything should be mostly set up in a reasonable way. Got dual lean keys. I like these pictures. Obviously, we won't really have music like this going on through the game, but once we can adjust master volume and music volume separately. So if audio levels seem like they need adjusting when we play, you guys let me know and we'll tweak it. As far as I can tell, just looking at the audio levels in OBS, it looks mostly fine. But we should be able to fix it if we need to. What's up, Ingvars? Yeah, the opening level is not in this game, but in the console game, like the way, like that opening level is like the perfect, everything about it, the way it's set up, the way it's paced, the way it, you know, the FMV at the end of it, like all of that is like the perfect packaging of a proper Bond movie opening action scene. So playing the opening credits after that would have been just perfect. But obviously, if the FMV is what it is, playing it at that point would be weird because you would want it to be the actual opening credits. But the only game to have properly done that is Tomorrow Never Dies on PS1, and it is fucking perfect. Hopefully, you know, like I said, we got a bunch of big Bond games coming up, and hopefully at least one of them will do that. Yeah, the song is not amazing, but it I think fulfills its purpose. It is a theme song, which is more than many games have. I wonder if I can... I can use my esports mouse buttons. Probably... Okay, that's actually probably not really what I want that button to be. So, but what else? View specs, mode. Everything is like reasonably reachable. It seems fine. Oh, okay. No, normal extra resolution is the highest setting. Trying to remember, did I don't know if I set this and it broke something and that's why I reduced it, but I think we'll probably be fine. All right, no back button. I guess I just tap escape. And oh yeah, do this, I guess. Pop out of this and let's set up. Yeah, there we go. Double check that I can control the timer. I cannot. That might be because live split froze, or did it just... Nope, okay. Enable global hotkeys, they just don't work, but that's fine. Was the opening mission of that game the ski mission with the big jump at the end? Speaking of Tomorrow Never Dies. Yes, but there's a second level. It's pretty funny. That game has like, I think it's 10 levels, and the first 2 of them are dedicated to the opening scene of the film. Because the first one I think has the skiing, and then the second one is where you infiltrate the like the arms deal situation, where you take pictures of stuff and then you have to fend off a bunch of guys as you get into the jet plane and you fly off, and that's how the scene ends in the movie, and the game like transitions seamlessly from you taking off to the opening credits, just like the movie. Anyway, do it. Ooh, select difficulty. Can we? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're doing agent. Alright. Get a proper gun barrel sequence.
Good evening, 007. A redesigned piece of missile guidance hardware intended for the orbiting US space weapons platform has been stolen. NATO has advised that recovery is critical. Should an unfriendly power reverse engineer this device, the platform's global defense capabilities would be severely compromised. Recent intelligence implicates Raphael Drake in the theft. Hard to believe, as Drake is a respected green industrialist whose Phoenix International dismantles obsolete atomic reactors and decommissions nuclear arsenals. An Allied agent planted in Drake's organization reports that Alexander Mayhew, a British expatriate who heads Phoenix's Japanese branch, is en route to Drake's castle in Austria. The stolen guidance device will change hands tonight during a formal gathering at the castle.
No subtitles in this one, by the way.
Drake's security teams are hardened men. As a W agent, you may have to answer aggression with aggression. Good luck, Bond.
Alright, pretty elaborate stunts going on here as well. I'm just like trying to piece together if this is the same FMV as in the console game. I just can't remember. I think it probably is. But I know that some of those FMVs were pretty like fancy looking. Alright, that's pretty cool. Cool transit. I'm wearing my tuxedo also. Hints. Okay. Our first hint is to press tab to read hints. Alright, I'm gonna pause real quick. Audio definitely seems pretty loud. It's like loud to me, and it looks pretty loud on OBS. Maybe better? Kind of dark too. Oh wait. So the truck is coming from the left. A little different. It's snipe stuff.
See if you can sneak aboard that delivery truck.
Graphics are all like pretty different. So do I jump on top of it or do I try? Trying to see if it's like open in the back.
Stop! Right there!
I think they can see me. Alright. Might have to redo this, but alright, you can like headshot them, but if you don't, they seem to take quite a bit of damage. Dude, the HUD being like microscoping is gonna make this a little bit tough. Also, my camera jerks whenever I get shot, but other than that, there's like not a lot of indication of me getting hit. Also, these guys all have like silenced pistols, I guess. Oh, dude, this little weapon wheel there, I see. Oh no, okay, they have. Oh wait, so okay, gadget. Just swap through there pretty smoothly. So obviously that could have been done better, but oh, that was armor plates. Let's see, but there doesn't necessarily seem. I don't know if there's anything about like scoring or anything. The level layout is already like super different. There's the whole truck situation, but I can climb over there. I guess kind of takes me to the same place, but that looks a bit iffy. Ah, fuck it. Odd climbing music. Just fades out when I'm done. Is this something I want to break? Okay, I can reach it. I already get the impression that it's like a little bit more open-ended. I know that that's true. And obviously this part is one of the more kind of open-ended aspects of the console game. Yeah, because of my chat situation, by the way, if you didn't hear, for some reason my normal OBS chat window isn't working. So I have a different chat window open. So I can read chat, but it's like not in the usual spot. So when I just like glance over real quick to read chat, I have to... It's a little harder to look over and read it right now. Oh yeah, I'm at 0 health, I guess. Or my health is covered up by armor plates. I don't really know how to read the health meter. Whoa! Trying to figure out what key to press to go that... Oh. Like automatically snapping through. Okay, cool. Like what happened there was as soon as I entered the wall crawl, I like slid out of position, so I automatically transitioned back to first person view. I don't know. I wonder when it auto saved. Okay. My gun's freaking out a little bit. No, okay. Wait, so that... Okay. Armor plates filled up the bright blue things, which I thought were health. Maybe armor is health. The manual... The way I interpreted the information from the manual made me think health and armor are two different things. But maybe they aren't. I guess they probably aren't. Yeah, Dune, what happens when I didn't press anything was exactly what you saw. So we'll do this. And when I try to... Because first I pressed left to go left, and he didn't go left. I was like, oh yeah, I think maybe it said I'm supposed to press forward. Well, that's a bit more effective. But then when I tried to press forward, that's when I walked off the cliff. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity for some quick saving. So I'm trying to like walk further. I'm holding left. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just had to preemptively hold left. And there was like a part like this in the console game too, where I sort of screwed up by walking too soon. But it's a lot easier to look around with the mouse here than it was in that version. If only they could like not hang out by this window. I don't know if that other guy's looking over here, but I guess we'll find out. And now we get the fucking Nightfire menu music. Like basically looking... Alright, this is gonna be scary. Ooh-ah. for exactly that reason. I was holding left, and I get out of the wall creep facing this direction. So if I hold the key that I'm using to advancing, I would literally strafe off this cliff, and that's pretty much what almost happened there. There's... wait, there we go. Lean keys. I need to remember that that's a thing.
Q here. I think you could grapple onto that metal surface.
Ah. I have to just understand. Is... oh, I hold. Ah, I see. Okay. And there's a little icon to tell me that the that's the end of the area. So it's kind of weird, like, I'm so not used to playing PC first-person shooters, let alone old ones like this. And in some ways, like, the aiming obviously gives me, like, kind of more control than I would. But it feels like there's more sort of discrepancies in terms of like where I kind of have fine control, like comparing this to Nightfire, the console game, but also kind of like console shooters in general. It's a bit more unwieldy, like because you can kind of move faster, you're sort of flying around, you have finer control, but it's a little bit unclear in places to what degree the game is sort of built to accommodate that. And sometimes the more reined in, kind of smoother way things are set up in a console game can feel a little more immersive. Just gets like a pretty different feel to it. In case you weren't around to watch it, like this is 100% just a completely different level. Like the layouts, the designs, like nothing is the same really. Oh, it does break. Cool. What's going on here?
007,
Oh.
you're going to have to find a way through that door. There must be a switch box nearby that powers the lock mechanism.
I see. Any input lag? Have I looked into how one adjusts mouse sensitivity and acceleration? Yeah, I mean, it's all configured. Not a caveman, so of course there's no mouse acceleration, and there's a sensitivity slider in the game, and like that part's all fine. Not a issue of the game. I'm just saying that playing with a mouse and keyboard inevitably makes for a different feeling experience compared to a console first-person shooter. It's not a good or bad thing, it's just like it feels different. And it's not something I do much of. Huh. The graphics are pretty sweet, I have to say. This is a nice looking game. Like the console game was already nice looking compared to like Agent Under Fire. But it goes without saying that PC game from 2002 is gonna, especially on a 2023 computer, gonna look and run a lot more sharper and smoother than an original Xbox game. I like that he shuts it off when he dies. He doesn't just drop the spotlight, he just gently puts it down. You're pressing F to interact, but it's E, and then I have to wait 2 seconds, 5 seconds before I can toggle it off. So I'm looking for some kind of switch box. Is that still what I'm doing? There's an area that looks a lot like this in the console game, but I don't think the layout's the same. And it's kind of interesting and cool because it's all like similar enough, but everything is with like higher fidelity And not just like, it's not like it's the same level, but with prettier graphics. But just like the architecture and the way things are built are clearly built with so, you know, it's built with PC in mind and being able to have a bit more geometry and detail and everything. What's up, cute little Oshawa? Welcome, welcome. But yeah, like, I'm not a PC gamer. I don't go around thinking about mouse acceleration and shit. I don't really have opinions on a lot of that stuff, so it's like, you know, I don't really care that much. I mean, I'll want to have it feel as good as I can, or at the very least not feel terrible or anything. Let me lean. Oh, that's gaming right there. All right, so here's, I guess, this thing. Do I just do that? Yeah, this is the first level. We've been playing for 16 minutes, as you can see. So I was literally about to say, this looks kind of like the part where the truck drives in. And yeah, I guess it is. So is there a wine cellar down here? Oh, hello. He's just reading his newspaper. Don't mind me. See, this part is all different. Like, there's an actual loading bay for the truck. Doesn't look like this at all in the other game. I'm fascinated. This is like exactly what I was hoping for, where... Can we laser through this? Oh, the actual lock. Where, like, the level, the mission, everything is different. Like, it's not the same, but there are bits and pieces where you can, like, recognize just enough to determine that's like, oh yeah, this seems similar. So we can't actually access the wine cellar here, but I wonder if we had snuck in using the truck, if we would have emerged in the wine cellar and then, like, come through here and come out and start this area from here or something. Because the truck would have entered from here, and presumably because we've swapped to the second area, yeah, there's no going back here. But I think in the console game there's like a well or something here. Like this, the relative position of these sort of doorways is kind of the same, but the actual size and shape of this little courtyard is different. Yeah, there's this little fountain where you can snipe a dude. With this, yeah, like this is all the same, but like the verticality is all different. I'm so intrigued with how many things. These gates I don't think are here. Yeah, but I was on the other side of that before. I'm surprised at how many specifics sort of show up here looking the same. Okay, I guess there's enemies there because we just got action music. There's like no impacts of any kind when you hit enemies. I wouldn't expect blood, but there's no like dust or anything. And when I get hit, there's no screen flashing. There's literally nothing. Like the camera sort of vibrates, but that's about it. Disable the energy. So that's good for something. I mean, I have no insight into the development history of this game, but the reasonable assumption is, of course, that, and that's not uncommon, that when multiple versions of a game is being made, that they are operating from the same, not necessarily game design document, but the same sort of basic spec. Like, there's an outline for the plot, there's an outline for the missions, there's an outline for the weapons and, like, gadgets and whatever else, but there's still plenty of wiggle room for the specifics. I'm frankly surprised that, you know, it seems like there are elements to the architecture and the layout that is, if not the same, at least like very close, but there's like, every now and again there's something that's like, oh yeah, this is kind of the same ish. So it's like rare enough that it's clearly not all like made from the same design and plan, but the broad strokes are obviously all there. Halo Master Warrior, thanks for the follow. All right, so I guess these are the spotlights. There were a few maps like this in the console game. A little sharper here, a little easier to interpret, but not necessarily. For instance, I don't really know where I am on this map. We know that Hans Gunther is supposed to have this position. Or I guess Hans and Gunther are all first names. I don't know what I turned on or off. Maybe I opened the gates. I guess we'll find out. It seems like a reasonable... I mean, I don't know that the gates would be remote controlled like that, but... looking at how they sort of intersected... Well, that didn't open, but... the location of those glowing lights seemed like they could be indicating... doorways or gates. Yeah, Eon is like famously annoying to work with, basically. But, you know, I don't know that they would be very hands-on in those kinds of specifics, because clearly plenty of Bond games, at least before this, if not after, have been less, you know... they've had certain kind of issues that you wouldn't expect the license holder to gladly sign off on. So I just remembered seeing that thing like, oh yeah, that's right, we turned off the hour thing. So everything after that point, the other half of this outside area, I don't know if I just goofed off for no reason at all. It could also be that that security room and some other things I did would have been more relevant if I'd come from the other direction. Because now we can get in here. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, it's like dog shit. Can't lean. What? Is he a ghost? Did he fall over and then just stand up? Okay, I think he might be a ghost. No. Someone there, but I want to see his... There we go. Find his head. Alright, yeah, he's a ghost. Don't worry about him, guys. Oh, he disappeared. He's a ghost. Okay, okay, confirmed. Ghost confirmed. Ghost confirmed. I'm a little spooked. Alright, just go up the stairs and let ourselves in. Oh!
We've confirmed that Agent Nightshade and the Deep Cover operative will rendezvous with you in the castle library.
Unique cutscene, I
Trust
think.
you'll maintain a low profile, 007.
The guard won't mind that I'm just waltzing in from that area. So yeah, the opening cutscene with the
007, find Agent Nightshade and get out.
parachute jump and whatever. Okay, yeah, this is just a visual glitch. That was like pre-rendered, like slightly fancier CG, but then what we just saw was obviously just using game graphics. So maybe we'll see more of those, like less fancy cutscenes, or the unique stuff they added for this version, and the more like main story sequences. The main story sequences are going to be the same as the other game, but the unique stuff they need to, like the connective tissue they need to tie together the levels that are different in this, will use original like game graphics rendered. So this seems presented for me to punch this guy in the back of the neck to take him out, but my objective is to maintain party guest cover But maybe I'm in an area I'm not supposed to be. You know what? This is what quick save was invented for.
Blow your cover, 007. Report back to MI6 immediately.
How was I to know? How was I to know? Oh no. Oh. Well, I talked to MI6. They said it's fine. Just a misunderstanding. We're good to go. Go this way. Oh. I just saw a little table with some playing cards and martini glasses. Then we're treated to this.
Thank you all for accepting my invitation this evening. Your generous gifts have ensured the success of our World Refugee Fund. Once again, my gratitude to all for making the journey here. And now, cocktails are waiting for you in the salon.
I have business to attend to. Play the hostess, won't you, darling?
He looks thrilled. Oh, Virgil. Oh yeah, because you bump into him like in the hallway in the Xbox game. Yo, thanks for the clip, Sword Fam. Please post that on Discord, will you? Ah, it's hors d'oeuvres. I thought they were playing cards. We got some nice little shrimp cocktails, at least. I realized kind of that I think there must have been unique dialogue recorded for this, right? Because I kept thinking that, like, yeah, the story, everything's gonna be the same, the dialogue would be the same. But then I thought, well, hang on. Obviously, M is gonna give me, and Q, they're gonna give me unique bits of info to puzzles and obstacles that aren't even in the other game. And then we had that little bit, like, there is a cutscene, I think, of Drake addressing the crowd in the Xbox game, and maybe that's the same dialogue, but the cutscene isn't the same, because you don't, it's all different. It looks all different. So if a lot of those scenes are a little different, then it makes sense that they probably would record a bunch of dialogue for this game. I mean, they were in production simultaneously, so they would have both scripts. Getting one actor in to read lines for both games obviously is not that complicated. I'm just kind of impressed at how different it is, yet how simple. Like, what I mean is how much of this game has been like uniquely crafted when it is so similar. Like, having all these scenes play out and still get cutscenes and everything, even though it isn't actually the same. They're not using the same cutscenes, they're not using the same levels. They're just like recreating the same content twice, sort of. Which is, in some ways, just kind of more effort than I was expecting, sort of. Even though I don't know how much sense it would have been to try to do it any other way. I'm just excited because this could be really sick. Like, the plot and the action, there's a bunch of cool, fun stuff in the console game. Knowing that we're gonna get to experience all of that again, but slightly different, and no fucking driving shit, you know? The shooting might not feel as good, we might not get the same, like, the Bond moments and everything, but it's pretty promising so far. What did it say? Oh. Rendezvous with CIA agent. Maintain party guest cover. Acquire Q gadgets from the undercover waiter. Yeah, the NPC models are definitely quite different. That guy's little evil soul patch. Just the sounds makes me laugh, because I can just, like, between the movement speed and the footstep sounds, Bond fucking just running full speed across the hallway, maintaining his perfect cover. Ooh, can I interact with people? No, I interacted with the door through this guy's chest. Let's talk to Virgil. It looks kind of different, actually. Nope. Ah, there was a staircase. makes sense. There was, I forget which game it was. There was one game where I read the trivia that you can walk up and interact with the grand piano to play a few notes of the Bond theme, but not in this one, I guess. Pretty cool walking around looking at the paintings.
Do I know you?
Oh, I was about to say, can I like hit on the ladies in this one and say hi to folks? They're not as receptive in this one, I guess.
Very pleased. Right.
You an undercover waiter?
Can I help you?
No, thank you.
Oh. Photograph every woman. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. I got you, Q. That's a lighter. That's a dart. Stunner. Okay. Do I mean, I guess I got my gadgets, yeah. Where's my... Do I have a camera? The lighter's... LiDAR camera? Ah, it is. Okay, I wasn't sure. Can I, like, zoom in or something? No, okay. I guess the idea is, like, we're supposed to identify her, but... Hello. Need a light? That's her. So let's right. I like that when I walk up to talk to them, they're like, yeah, whatever. And I walk up with a fucking camera in their face. Now they're they play ball. Starts like posing after I take the picture. All right. I can take a few more. It's funny too that they like turn towards you when you walk up with the camera. Alright, that was fun. Okay, so we uploaded our wholesome hobby photography to Q. He'll just look those over and come back to us, I guess. So now we need to find Zoe.
Hello.
Hello.
I came with someone else.
Delightful fucking landline phone cup on a string audio quality. Oh, maybe now that I've done that, Virgil moved and we can get through that door. Ahaha. That's basically how it works in the other game too, even though the level's a bit different. Oh yeah, he's standing over there now. Kind of a creepy looking bust. Yep, the library where you rendezvous.
James.
You're the deep cover agent?
Oh, it's not as deep as it looks.
Sorry to interrupt your debriefing, 007. Agent Nightshade, CIA.
Dominique Paradis, French intelligence. DGSC.
Mayhew's arrived with the stolen guidance device.
Drake just went to the conference room. I would imagine he's meeting Mayhew there. I'd better get back to the party before I'm missed.
Really like halfway asleep.
MI6 wants surveillance photos of that exchange.
Right. I'll create a distraction for you while you make your way to the conference room.
So weird, like this dialogue.
Does that dress standard company issue, Nightshade?
Don't get any ideas, 007. It's armored in all the right places.
So bizarre. Like that whole sequence of like the dialogue, it's mostly the same. Like that thing at the end where he's like questioning her dress and whatever. The lines are the same, but I'm pretty sure they're not the same recording. It's like a different performance of the same voice lines. Her animation is like slightly different because that's all rendered in real time in the console game, but here it's like an FMV, And because we have like the direct comparison of what that looks like, I can tell it right away, even though the video quality is pretty grotty, like the Zoe's actual model like looks way better. I think all the characters probably just have significantly more polygons than on the console, which makes obvious sense. But yeah, in this version of the game, we don't know of any history between Bond and Dominique. Of course, in the console game, the opening level involves you rescuing her. Like, she's in a car and you have to like take out all these guys chasing her with your sniper rifle, and then at the end of the level, or end of that sequence rather, she's driving like a convertible and you're in a helicopter, so you like drop down on a rope or a ladder or whatever, and you sort of swoop her out of her convertible, and the two of you drop down into your James Bond mobile, the whatever it is, Aston Martin or the BMW, whatever. And then the second half of the level is like a driving level where the two of you drive together, and then you like, it's on New Year's Eve, so at the end of the level there's like fireworks and you have a glass of champagne and whatever. So that's like the setup, and then you see her again in this level and there's like some kind of history or connection. But it's kind of funnier this way. You literally just see her for the first time, like, are you my contact? I believe so. All right, let's make out. Like 2 seconds later, this other babe just shows up. It's like, whatever. Anyway, but you know, that's how it goes. Seems weird though that we have we seen like either of those two women, like, did we see their models in game, or did they literally only show up in the cutscene? I think they might have only been in the cutscenes. But I wonder if we actually get to see them in game, like rendered in real time. All right, briefcase. So in the console game, that's like locked up in a safe. Spiral staircase. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But we have to watch like the meeting and take some pictures of it, and then we a little awkward to try to navigate a spiral staircase running at full speed, but it's fine. I think we watch the secret meeting, and then we
007, you must get to that meeting between Drake and Mayhew. Don't put any civilians in danger, but you should not hesitate to neutralize Drake's men if they get in your way.
It's funny, like the general voice dialogue all sound muffled, so then when M is radioing in, they have to make it extra crispy, crunchy, super muffled. Am I like, what's okay? The music is making me think I'm not supposed to be here. These guys aren't putting up a fight just yet, so they'll... Never mind, I guess. I don't have a gun. I guess I'll have to... Alright, okay, now I do. We're fine. At least early on here, it seems pretty trivial. Oh, there's no automatic fire on this one, I guess. Like, you'll get shot here and there, but it doesn't feel like you will easily get killed. But yeah, the transition from like stealth to action was a little like, oh, okay, I guess that happened in the console game too. But it's funny that I didn't even have a gun to like walk in there and start punching.
One more thing, 007. Agent Parody has informed us that she saw Drake hide some private files in one of his safes earlier. She doesn't know what they are, but I'm sure they'll be of interest to us. The safe is apparently hidden behind one of the paintings in the Red Gallery.
Noises. Yeah, so we saw this in the trailer, right? Where you like crawl on here. Alright, I'm just walking regularly now, but... Or rather, fucking running full speed. Also, that's like weirdly slippery. Earlier. So I guess... Yeah, this is the X-ray mode. Looks pretty cool, actually. This is some kind of, yeah, like heat vision. Maybe we'll find our way to this so-called Red Gallery and start using We'll inconspicuously play around with our sunglasses indoors. Kind of cool. Whoops. Okay.
Here it is, Mr. Drake. The missile guidance module we stole.
So this is the same.
I trust this effort brings us one step closer to globalization.
The quality's pretty fucking rough, though.
You've saved our technicians considerable time, Mayhew.
But yeah, I think this cutscene is the exact same as the console game.
Nightfire elements as well.
Absolutely, sir. We're well underway training assault teams for the...
Get your hands off me!
The contents of Horvey, sir.
I was looking for the powder room.
With lockpicks and a 9mm?
Hey, it's a tough neighborhood.
If this security breach leads back to Japan, it's your head, Mayhew. Secure this. I doubt she's alone. Lock the castle down. Now! And take this woman to the cable car station. I don't want her interrogation to upset the guests.
Interrogation? What kind of party is this, anyway?
How am I liking this version? So, oh, that's a grenade. I think I might have gotten rocket boosted off the ledge there by the grenade. That was fun. It's like, I don't know if it's the mouse controls or the like weirdly sharp graphics or what it is exactly, but there's something about this that definitely feels like jankier than the console game. It doesn't, like, the level of fidelity to the visuals and the controls and the obviously, like, the video quality feels like it's worse than on console, but the game itself looks like 10 times crisper. So there's these little incongruities that make it a little funky. But I'm enjoying it so far. Like, it hasn't been annoying. I can quick save whenever I want, and even when I don't, it seems like it's auto-saving pretty, like, generously. The head bobbing plus screen tearing haven't aged well. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I guess you guys are seeing a bunch of screen tearing, because I'm not really. That could be a FPS thing. Yeah, no, but I'm like, I'm not seeing any tearing at all. And if you are, that's maybe something I could, because it could be a frame rate thing. Because I'm pretty sure I'm at 120 FPS. I'm curious. I mean, I can double check. There's a V-Sync setting that I don't have turned on. I might as well. There isn't here, but there might be in the launcher. Because with the fan patch, you get like a completely different launcher and stuff with some settings. I'm pretty sure I would have enabled that. But when we finish this level, we can drop out and take a second look at that, because I'd rather not do that in the middle of it now, but we can check. Like I said, I didn't notice or have any issues seeing it here, but I can't really tell what it looks like on stream. And even then, like, I might see screen tearing or something in my OBS preview window, but I couldn't know for a fact that that's what it looks like on stream either. There's nothing about anything to do with the mouse aiming or head bobbing or anything like that I think feels bad. It feels exactly what I would expect it to feel like. But what I mean is, inevitably, it's different from the console game, and it does tend to be a little, like, again, there's some aspects that are like super clean and crisp, and there's some aspects that are super grotty, and whether it's visually or otherwise, it just, the overall experience in some ways just feels slightly less cohesive than the console game, and that makes for a slightly janky feel, even if like the graphics are nicer. All right. Where was that bullet coming from? Oh, yeah, that guy, I guess. Like, the guns don't feel as good. And there's literally, like, no reaction from enemies when you shoot them, or what, like, when you hit them. That feels really weird. Alright, so we just immediately get right to the cable car station. That's pretty different. But we obviously can't leave until we pick up the case that we came for. Also, there's no like text or anything to indicate when you pick up weapons. A lot of things like that that just feel a little strangely lacking in sort of the presentation and polish of it. Like I can interact. Okay, that sign just sort of came and went in a weird way. So I guess we'll... Wait, recover the stolen briefcase. When did I do that? According to the game, I already have it. I feel like I skipped that part. We saw Drake say in the cutscene that he was going to lock it up in his safe. And then I went down a staircase. Now we're supposed to... I don't know. I didn't see her here either. In the console game, she's just hanging out in the cable car. We, like, enabled the cable car and...
I've got the guidance module. Let's go.
Alright, she took care of it, and she's gotten into a more practical outfit. Love to see it. Did I, yeah, I was gonna say, did I get a rocket launcher? I sure did. That's very convenient. She just took care of that off screen. Oh. Wow, this fire is very different from what I expected. Can I enable guided missiles in this one? Oh, whoa. Okay. I thought I would switch to a different mode, but no, I clicked the right mouse button and I fired this. A little unwieldy to control. I'm just glad I didn't blow myself up. That's a good sound. But it's not being piloted by Virgil. Maybe we have to explode this before Virgil's boss helicopter shows up. The aiming like snaps in a way that's really weird. I think we're done. No, maybe. Just going under. Yep. Oh, the aiming is so... I mean, you can kind of see how it... that was extremely confusing. Alright, I guess we got him. Scream. Yeah, I think that's different. She's not in that outfit in the console game.
Nice landing, James.
I don't think.
Why do you always seem to end up on top?
A lower center of gravity?
Like, that dialogue is all in the other game, too. Dude, I feel like I'm being fucking gaslit by this game. Dude, there are Bond moves in this game, and there's fucking score. Well, okay, it just advanced. I wasn't expecting that.
We may have found a way up this mountain.
Huh.
Unless we take out the control tower.
Yeah, this is all different, by the way. This is all...
another attack helicopter on us. Get to the security office and disable the alarms. I'll handle the tower.
Alright, completely unique level. So let me do a hard save here. Yeah, I didn't think about it, but I guess there's no, like, mission select. We're just sort of... Well, because I saved and everything, so I can hop on out real quick. And just double check how this works. Because I can press continue, which I'm assuming will just load the most recent save. Yeah, it looks like it. But yeah, because I guess there's no like medals and replaying levels and stuff like that. So there are bond moves, but there aren't really. Yeah, it's good to know though. Look for that. It's a good time for me to take a short break anyway. So I'll take a short break, and before we boot this up again, I'll take a quick look in the settings to see if there's anything to adjust with regards to VSync or something like that, to see if it would help. Like it might be that there is screen tearing, but it's hard for me to see because I'm at a higher frame rate where it's more where it's less obvious, and that still gets like picked up by the capture. But it could also be that it's just something weird happening with OBS, because of the OBS is like capturing and streaming at a different frame rate than I'm playing. I guess it could make sense that if I'm rendering, if you're capturing 120 FPS footage at 60, weird stuff could happen. I don't really know, but I'll take a look and see if something makes sense. Or it's just, I mean, if you notice it, then that's there. There's not like phantom screen tearing that doesn't exist. I'm just like trying to determine what could be the cause of it being more or less noticeable or different on my end versus your end. Maybe it's in your monitor. I wouldn't expect that, but who knows. Well, I'll take a short break. I'll do a quick investigation, and we shall reconvene shortly. See you guys in just a little bit. All right. Oh, I forgot to fucking pause the timer. Of course. That's fine. Catching up real quick for those of you who may have missed it before. We do have the Q Branch Research Funding Initiative going, through which we can unlock additional games to be played for Games Bond. And we do so by reaching the daily objective 10 times. We're at 3 completed daily objectives. And we reach a daily objective by amassing 1,000 Q credits over the course of a stream. And we do that by contributing to the channel in the form of cheering, subbing, donating, merch purchases, etc. At a rate of roughly 1 credit per bit. We had a few subs, so we get a few more, or some other means we may unlock today's objective. So just a quick status update on that before we get back to the game. It does appear that there is a VSync setting that is not enabled, and I think I don't know if I probably just assumed that a 24-year-old game or whatever should run smoothly enough that I wouldn't need to worry about VSync, but clearly that may not be the case. I vaguely recall having to start the game over with a few different settings before I arrived at something that worked properly. There was something that gave me some issues, I believe. I'm not sure, but it's possible that VSync could have been something, you know, doubtful. We'll try it, and I think we'll be fine, but if something conks out, we might just have to go back to the other settings. But I believe we should probably be fine. So let's try enabling VSync and see how that works out.
EA Games.
Challenge.
Oh yeah, this shit's gonna be real loud. Alright, that's skippable at least. Good.
Unspeakable horror awaits you.
Ingvar subscribed at tier 1. 4 months of Skull Club membership. Thank you very much indeed, Ingvars. Enjoy your queue. Enjoy your emotes. Enjoy knowing your life is a little bit better now that my life is a little bit better. Greatly appreciate it. That means we're just 1 more sub away from another daily objective completed. I guess we'll just continue and we'll see if everything works. So this is exciting. We're heading into unknown territory. I can't tell if there's tearing or not, but at least the capture seems fine. So I think we'll just keep going. Why don't I...
You'll have to put those spotlights out of commission if I'm going to sneak inside.
Sure.
James, if there's a generator or a control box nearby for the spotlights, maybe we can switch them off for a second.
I didn't have a reticle, but I switched weapons and now it's back. Disable the security... Alright. Stealth mission, huh? There's a light that seems like...
Sniper on the control tower.
Luckily I can snipe with this, alright. Alright. Pretty good. Control tower administration. I wonder if I could just snipe those guys too and be done with it. I don't have any kind of hacking device, I guess. Well, let's keep exploring. Well, I figured I'd play for a few minutes to make up for the timer not being paused, but I will definitely forget, so let's just do that. Oh, cool. I clicked in the window and just fired a bullet, but... I'll probably just take off 2 minutes at the end, if I remember. I wonder if we'll just instantly game over if we get discovered. We'll find out, I guess. Aviation. Nope. Staying grounded for this one. Main warehouse. Dude over there. I feel like I should just be able to take out those guys and that'll be fine, but... Who knows? Main warehouse administration. Nope. Alright. Scientifically deduce here. Can I just fire the bullet in the head of these guys? That seems fine. That's the one way to make spotlights not an issue. Yeah, they're like perfectly still aim, and the sharp high resolution graphics, meaning I can make out like 3 pixels of someone's head across the map and shoot them. I don't know what caused that though. Also, that's fucking loud. Can I just quick load from here? Oh, I have to just did I step into the light? Is there... I could use one of those thief-style light meters, I feel like. I guess there... I did step into light. Doesn't mean we can't take out that guy. Hard to see. Oh, we got him. Nope, okay. All right, let's quick load before we go to the menu. So I wonder if I... Did that guy's dead body fall into... Let's not take out any of those guys to see if, you know, there could just have been some sort of a delayed reaction. And it might not have been to do with my position. But, I mean, there are obviously lights here. So if there's a thing where, like, I'm standing in the light... Who knows? Doesn't appear to be a padlock or anything for me to laser to get in here. Yeah, it's like the lighting doesn't make it super obvious what's lit or not. Like the actual spotlights are pretty obvious. Maybe I just crawl against this wall here. But it's like, does that guy see me? Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say, he did see me and yell about the alarm, so that seems like a bad sign. Oh, quick load. Oh, I kind of don't want to... whatever. I was gonna say, I kind of don't want to, like, quick load my way through this, but I guess that's just how we would do it. I guess I was in the light. Seems pretty janky. Yeah. But I think the, obviously the whole quick load stuff makes things a little easier, too. Alright, so if I shoot that guy... Hard for me to tell if I was discovered because he saw me. Yeah, that kind of figures. I had a sneaking suspicion that taking out guys might be a bad idea. All right, let's backtrack our steps here and see. I might have just been taking a completely needlessly elaborate route to nowhere. I also definitely didn't hear, much less remember, what she said. I mean, yeah, stealth stuff is generally obnoxious. With few exceptions. I could get in here at least, but... To what end? There's an open gate here, right in front of me. I mean, that guy... saw me, so the alarm's gonna go off, yeah. Well, let's... I'm curious where the autosave was. Yeah. Hear what she's saying now. Oh.
You'll have to put those spotlights out of commission if I'm going to sneak inside. James, if there's a generator or a control box nearby for the spotlights, maybe we can switch them off for a second.
She's like way cooler in this game. Like she gets, I mean, she drives the car and whatever in the other one.
A distraction in order to sneak inside.
But here she's like actively part of the mission and whatever. All right, there's a sniper. There of him. That seemed to be fine. Yeah, the whole like running around the entire map just didn't seem like it led to anything. I'll just quick save here. I should actually just quick save at the beginning. This might be something. Well, I guess I'd probably go back to her then. So we'll see if she's waiting for me to come back and we'll do some cool shit, or if she's just gone now because she snuck in. Oh, she's there.
Okay, James, that did it. I'm making my move.
Oh, there we go. I was gonna say I was expecting her to do a cool little stunt.
I hear a guard coming out now. Take cover.
Supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do exactly, but I probably don't want to let these guys.
Henrik, check that spotlight generator again. The generator is probably just out of fuel again.
Oh, I need to sub. Oh, I'm stuck. Fucking lean keys. Lean while crouching. Leaning is a bit fucked. Oh, there he is.
See, I always have to check on this old rat trap.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Well, that somehow counted as avoiding security detection. I wasn't sure, like, how I would end up sort of behind him. Alright. Didn't get a bond move or anything, but that means we should be able to get in here, right? Stock sounds.
James, be careful. I haven't deactivated the cameras just yet. Keep an eye open.
The radio is so, like, loud. Oh, there's a giant ass camera. Okay. Oh, okay. We're not allowed to do that. I see. Okay. I'm still quick load. Giant ass cameras. Ah, okay. Get a quick save later, I guess. It's like I'm colliding with the wall or something. Never mind. I'm just warping. Maybe if I do... No. Oh yeah, I can do this, right? The dart. Rank dart.
Heinrich, check that spotlight generator again. The generator is probably just out of fuel again.
What if I run over here? Hope this is a projectile weapon. Group Branch's new trans-dimensional teleporter. Yeah, my phase shifter. Like I'm leaning forward and then it snaps into position. It's like it worked better before. Doesn't really have the range. Like real fucking slow. But I see him now. I see his little feet. I assume I could probably just kill him, but... Dude! What the fuck? Well, luckily the game is not very harsh on like forcing me to avoid that. Which probably means... Oops, we're fine to use the gun. We'll find out.
James, be careful. I haven't deactivated the cameras just yet. Keep an eye open.
You're gonna phase out of existence too? Pretty cool. Can't like lean out of doorways, which is like kind of what you would want to use it for, I feel like. There. Hope it can't see it through glass. Server room. Heard a computer noise. Infiltrate the flight control tower. So that's presumably where that sniper was positioned, right? I mean, that's a tower. I didn't mean to slide in there. I just wanted to... I don't know what the range of this camera is like, but I'll try to... wait for it to be pointing another direction before I try to sneak down the hallway. This is pretty tense. Stairs. I guess there's like nothing in any of these places, but power access. Oh, I could maybe have... Ooh, yeah, I could have gone through here, I see. Pretty cool. Being these like very dry office hallways. Not entirely unpleasant to look at. Graphics in this game. That's going to drop us down to that access door, but the question is, do I need a card to get through there? Like maybe that guy has it. Aha. Or it's, well, basically, right? There we go. Level 2 security pass key obtained. Fucking world domination map. Yugoslavia? I don't feel like Yugoslavia was a thing by 2002. Oh my god! I was like, wait, something's moving. I was like, oh shit, there was a fucking guard in my face. What the fuck's he doing? Look at its spreadsheets in the pitch black office, but whatever. We're good. Alright, let's hope there wasn't a camera here. Well, there was, but... slipped and stumbled down the stairs. It's a pretty cool stage, I like it. Doesn't have the spectacle of the snowmobile chase, obviously, but... like, I'm just glad that the stuff that they put in here is sort of alternate to the levels in the console game. Still fit together really well, like, because they have the added cutscenes and everything. Whoa, there's a camera right there.
Just a minute, James. Done. Cameras are offline. You're good to go.
Oh. Being able to like pick dudes off with headshots like that is pretty satisfying, though. What do I do? Destroy communication radar consoles. Avoid detection by not leaving enemy bodies in view of security cameras. Stand directly underneath security cameras to avoid being spotted. Yeah, I figured that. Alright, do I just shoot this shit? I guess so. Oh shit, I thought the mission was over. Oh shit! Wait, no, catwalk.
James, I'm making a run for the freight line. Cover me.
Oh, I see. I held down the mouse, the 2 button. That made me cycle through zoom levels. Someone shoot me? I think he might have.
James, take out those guards already, will you?
Sure.
I'm making a break for it, James.
Oh, that's cool. Fucking hell. Explosive barrels, but I don't know where she is, so I want to be a little careful. That's her, right? Oh, that's satisfying. That's a Bond move.
I'm almost to the fence now. Keep an eye on me.
And she died. I don't know. I've never played this before. She hasn't died so far. Not about to try and shoot her to find out. I'm not exactly sure where she's headed, or...
Okay, I'm making a run for it.
Dude, the fucking railing. Getting in that vehicle. Did you go inside here? Oh. Guess we're done. Determine the status of the aircraft in the secondary aircraft hangar. That's pretty fun. Oh. Classic first-person shooter, 2-way doors. Maybe I can get inside some other building that I couldn't before with my level 2 security clearance. Stealth seems like less of a concern at this point. Oh! as I can. Here, save a little bit of time. Is that an actual blood stain? No, not really. I thought it looked slightly reddish. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. And, well, good. I thought he was dead, but he was just throwing a grenade. I'm going to heroically shoot through here and jump, but game had slightly other plans. Well, the enemies here give me the impression that I was supposed to take this route. In the console game, I was like, man, it's nice with a sniper rifle that doesn't have wobble. And on PC with a mouse, it's like even more... even more ridiculous. So I guess, did she go here? Yeah, oh, I guess maybe I can... I'm confused. I was gonna say, oh, maybe I can go over there now when, like, being detected isn't a thing. But that's where she went to do whatever. Where's the secondary aircraft hangar? With all the enemies and stuff, I have to imagine that I was at least supposed to come back here. Doesn't really look like a hangar on my right. But we'll see what the sign says. Airfield secure. Oh yeah, that's where she jumped through, I guess. Yeah. Completely empty room. Yeah. Is that a hangar? Like we got some kind of
I'm sure Drake knows we're here by now. We have to get out of
runway. All right, hopefully that wasn't a you're running out of time prompt, but more like you're making progress prompt. And indeed, we couldn't go inside here before, so. I didn't think about it, but I just realized the ammo indicator is like a visual, like you see the number of bullets in your magazine, and then the number is just like the number of extra bullets you have. That's also like made a little trickier by the fact that the screen resolution makes the UI elements certainly smaller than they were like intended to be. Bond funk going. Wrong button. Keep this, I guess. Okay. Oh, maybe I ran out of few juice. This song is sick. Not sure where I was being shot at from, but like here, maybe? I guess so. Like, I realize these guys all have suppressors. But even so, like, the sense of impact and spectacle from the guns is, like, pretty embarrassing. Like, it's still enjoyable to play. I like the way it feels, but there's no, like, satisfying feeling to shooting. Like, the animation's great, but the fact that there's no feeling of impact when you hit, and when you have 5 dudes standing next to you firing at you, like, you barely notice, that feels a little weird. Wait, now we're back here. Am I supposed to do something in here? Can I get through here somehow? Okay. Try to shoot the barrels. There we go. His hitbox was too fat, I guess. Wow, they're surprisingly not that flammable. Just wanted to see if I could break stuff to, like, get through, but... Alright, there's some kind of a maze-type situation here. Oh, you can't rapid fire very well with the semi-automatics here, which is unfortunate. That's one of the things I love the most about the console game, where you can just like pop, 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 just quickly fire. Basically, you know, the gun will fire as fast as you'll pull the trigger. And I always love that in games, and I always feel frustrated when you have a semi-automatic gun and the game is like, obviously in real life I wouldn't be able to fire the gun as fast as I can click to the mouse or pull a trigger on a controller, but it's a video game, right? Plus James Bond probably could. So when I'm clicking, basically I'm pressing the trigger 5 times and the game will only allow me to shoot the gun twice. It just feels bad. And it doesn't matter if the recoil makes it so after 2 bullets you can't hit jack shit. That's still like much better than not even being allowed to do it in the first place. All right, just use the armor right now.
Nearly to the primary hangar now. I'm making a break for it.
Check that hangar, Zoe. We need to find a way out of here.
Like, it's weird stuff like that too, where you fire the gun and there's like, it lights up the environment, but there's no muzzle flash. Just feels kind of weird. Whoa! Yeah, I got launched by an explosion there. I was just about to say, I wonder if I can try to use grenades. I was cooking the grenade and then I was forced to take my glasses off, which canceled the grenade. It looked very funny. Just like launched straight into the air while the camera cut to this like I'm dead angle, but also I can still turn the camera around. Okay, we have an autosave for a few minutes ago. Try that. Love firing pistol and emptying the clip in like a second in perfect dark. Yeah, it just feels great. Zerodyne, this entire level is not in the console game at all. After you leave the castle, you go right into a like snowmobile car chase turret level. Probably wouldn't want to shoot that. But, in this game, instead, you go to this airfield to try to figure out a way to escape, basically. Can I use my glasses while sniping? I can. Out of glasses juice, yeah. Not that dark, actually. Not let these guys toss grenades is quite helpful. When the music switches back, loungy, casual spy music, then you know you're good. Yeah, this game does not have any of the vehicle levels. I think is probably going to be for the better. Especially given that, like, so far, if this is any indication, they go to pretty significant lengths to replace them with something substantive and interesting and cool in its own right. Like, this is a pretty cool level. And I guess I was expecting, given that the equivalent turret level is pretty brief, that I was kind of not expecting this to be kind of like a full-length level. Basically, in the console game, there's 12 missions, 6 of which are on foot, regular first-person shooter levels, and 6 are driving levels, turret levels, some combination thereof, the underwater level. And this one has 9. But in that game, the 6 on-foot missions, for the most part, are... I forget how I counted. I think there's 6, and then the final mission, which is technically not on foot because you're floating in space, but it's a first-person shooter level, sort of. But it's also not really... It's basically just a boss fight. It's great, though, but... As far as like the length of the level, basically 6 out of the 12 missions are based, you know, something that kind of feels fully fleshed out. There's a few of there's at least one of the driving levels that has the driving part and then the flying turret part and everything. So that one's pretty long.
Get this plane onto the runway. I'll cover you from the radar tower.
Yeah, and like we're not done yet. So I feel like even if this has fewer levels, if it's 9 fully fleshed out first-person mission objective cool shit levels, that's probably preferable over 6 proper levels and 6 kind of annoying vehicle shit type of levels. Not that all of the driving stuff is terrible or anything, but the all of the worst parts in the console game are all concentrated to the non like on foot levels. Like the driving feels pretty good and some of it's cool, but like the difficulty balance and stuff, there's just a bunch of stuff that's just so fucking obnoxious. Just feels very poorly balanced and tested kind of relative to the on foot missions. But even then, like the last one of those, that's when you're on in their like HQ, like that one's pretty annoying too, or like pretty difficult. What was I supposed to do? Oh, protect her. Okay. I thought I was supposed to disable something over here. And I guess it's not on fire anymore. A bit of fall damage there. I can't change zoom levels while I'm doing the bolt action. Where the fuck did he go? Can I close this door? No. There have certainly been a few spots where I've been a little confused by the fact that she's wearing their outfit, and I see her, it's like, oh shit! Or the other way around. Okay, no, just protect her. Just filling it up. Gas. Oh, that's pretty cool. The hose is like animated. Did we fully deplete the supply of bad guys? Oh, she's getting ready.
Plane is fueled.
Alright. Do I get in or do I... I can't hear shit, but
All systems go. There's nothing. Okay, James, fire's lit. I'm going to taxi. Just make sure it's clear out there.
okay, yeah. I didn't want to be standing inside the wing where she was doing that, so... I figured I could have just gotten in, but... you're not gonna, like, leave me here or anything, are you? This is cool, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess that's the actual runway. Okay, that makes sense. I get it. Of course I have to go that way on foot so I can dramatically jump in on the runway.
Set course for the Swiss border. We have to get the guidance chip into safe hands as soon as possible.
We wouldn't get that if I was just sitting in the plane to begin with. Oh yeah, it's gonna skip. Yeah, we don't get to read.
Confirms that Drake plans to eliminate Alexander Mayhew.
Well, we're going to
his
Japan
chief
anyway.
of Asian operations, whom he blames for the security failure in Austria. You will escort Mayhew to safety in exchange for evidence on Drake's Operation Nightfire, a scheme which may threaten the entire globe.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Miyu-san is expecting you.
I'm confused. I feel like that cutscene
Mayhew
is
has
from the
one
game,
demand,
the console
to be
game.
brought in by James Bond himself. He awaits you at his
I don't
Japanese
remember
estate. Good
that-
luck, 007.
Lady, but I'm sure this is
Mr. Bond.
same. Most of it seems familiar, at least.
This is Kiko Hayashi, my bodyguard. I assure you, she's quite skilled.
No doubt. The Nightfire data may...
No doubt.
We weren't expecting other guests. Please, stay with Alex.
It's Drake! Quick! We must get to the security bunker.
Game's just very rapidly. Right, okay. It's like, did I have guns? Yeah, so I get it. It's like I said, I feel like I'm being gaslit because every cutscene I have to like second guess if it's the exact same FMV from the console or if it's slightly different. But I'm pretty sure some of them are the exact same. But the video quality feels like it's all over the place too. Some of them looks better than others, so it's confusing. Yeah, the N64 World's Not Enough specifically has the level where that's one of the more annoying stealth levels because it comes right after the even more annoying stealth level, which is the mansion level. But yeah, because in the film, he sneaks out of the mansion and follows, what's his name, Davidov. And right before he gets there, like, because he's supposed to meet with someone at the airfield, he kills him and sort of steals his identity. And in all different, like, the Game Boy Color version is like, obviously that level is the stuff of nightmares, but specifically how that little exchange happens seems like almost closer in that game than in the others. But yeah, it's a weird stealth level that's like pretty long, because it's not a stealth level in the sense that as soon as you get discovered it's a mission fail, but you're supposed to sneak around and you have to like tail him and figure out where he is going, and then at some point you kill him and you steal some stuff, and then you have to like break into the airfield. And I just remember we like very barely, we had like no health and took some other back way around and sort of walked up to the airplane, and luckily we were kind of being shot at, but it like triggered the end of level cutscene and we were good to go. Oh yeah, this was more fun. I guess it's probably saved. Well, just doesn't hurt to do another manual save. It sucks that the mission end report card is that the game like skips it automatically. It stays on screen for a couple of seconds, then it just moves on, so you don't really get time to soak in your results. But what I could see is that for that level I got 0 out of 1 Bond moves, so that makes me curious what that would have been. I do actually, I'm just reminded now, I have the official strategy guide for this game in PDF form, and I'm sure that would tell us how to get the Bond moves, but obviously I don't want to read through that before playing the game. I just hope that we'll be able to discover some of them organically. But it is annoying to know that I won't be able to easily jump back into a mission to do it. I mean, technically, I guess if we do save files for each mission, we could load up any level of the game if specifically we want to check out something like that. Maybe there's a stage selector. I mean, I guess with the band patch, I'm sure, I don't know if I have like a console that I can access and type in commands, but surely there's some way to just jump to a level if we wanted to. Is a Bond move him romancing a girl? Well, in Agent Under Fire, when you're doing the stealth mission in the embassy, you walk in on a lady getting dressed. You just like waltz into an office and she's like standing there behind a little screen, and that's a Bond move. It turns out that that's like the main villain of the game, by the way, but you don't know that at the time. It's just some lady. But yeah, so Bond walking in on some beautiful woman in some form of state of undress is apparently considered a Bond move. But in Nightfire, the console game, the Bond moves are mostly cool stunts and clever things, like clever solutions to problems that are perhaps slightly less obvious. It can be like disabling, like breaking into a power box to disable security cameras or lasers. Sometimes it's just like shooting a thing that will blow up a bunch of things instead of taking down dudes with your gun, that kind of thing. But they're mostly actually cool, fun things. In Agent Under Fire, the Bond moves are... sometimes they're just like opening a grate to a air duct. Not even just like taking a cool shortcut or ambushing someone. It's literally just... literally the first thing that happens in the game, the very beginning of the very first level in the game, it's like, oh, you can use your decryptor key Q gadgets to unlock this door, or you could use the grappling hook to take the scenic route. And it's like, well, you use gadget A to unlock the door, or you use gadget B to go up on the roof and drop down through a hatch. And either one of those gadgets, when you do them, will trigger a Bond move. And it's like, oh, okay, sure. But I also would not have been able to progress without doing either of those things. There are several Bond moves in Agent Under Fire that are literally... like the walking in on the lady, too. That's like a story beat that happens during the level. It's not an optional thing. It's not a secret thing or a cool trick. It's literally part of progressing through the level. Whereas in Nightfire, the Bond moves are almost exclusively, if not entirely exclusively, things you could opt to do, but they're not mandatory and easily missable. Like in the very first prologue mission, when you're sniping from the helicopter, Dominique is being chased by these bad guys in cars, and you can shoot the guys. There's like a car driving, and there's gonna be a guy, you know, leaning out through the window shooting his gun, and you can shoot the dude, or you can shoot the engine to like explode the car. But if you shoot the wheels to make the car like wobble out of control and crash into the other car, then you get a Bond move. So it's like always, not always harder, but stuff that you have to make a little bit of an extra effort or figure out how to do usually. But since we got 0 out of 2 Bond moves on level 1, and we got 0 out of 1 on level 2, I don't know specifically what the Bond moves are like in nature in this game, but I would certainly expect them to be more like the Nightfire console game, because, well, this is Nightfire, so I would expect given how closely a lot of this follows how the console game is structured and functions, I would expect the Bond moves to also be kind of similar. The Bond moves that I knew of in the first level, we didn't necessarily quite get the opportunity to even go for them. But in this level, or the equivalent in the console game, you can get a Bond move in a section where you're supposed to like rescue some hostages, and you can swim through the little pond canal and come up through some kind of hatch into a house to get the drop on some bad guys who are holding a hostage. So we can try to figure out if we can do that, and if that's a Bond move in this game too. Seems reasonable to think that it might be. Is there extra objectives in this depending on difficulty? I don't know. I've only played on 1 difficulty, and I wouldn't expect there to be. I don't think there are in the console game either, because the objectives aren't really... they're not laid out ahead of time, and none of them feel... they would have to structure the levels pretty differently, because none of the stuff we'd been asked to do feels like it's going out of my way from just progressing through the route of the level. Like, I don't know if I imagine them taking out any objectives from this difficulty, because we're playing on Agent, which is the medium difficulty. If they took out something for the operative difficulty, I don't even know what that would be, because like, what could you pick out and still have the level make sense? Maybe some stuff is less like crucial, but or, you know, maybe less punishing or harsh or demanding, but it feels like the flow of the level is very much like, do this thing, do that thing, do this over here to open up this door, do this to meet this person, trigger this cutscene, then go here. And honestly, that's the way I like it. I think the Bond moves make for a great optional difficulty thing, and in Nightfire, the console game, if you want to get the platinum medals, you basically have to collect all of the 007 tokens and get Bond moves So like you have to learn where those are, and I think the scoring system and everything in that game in general is really well thought out and cool. And I think playing through Nightfire, one of the main kind of takeaways I had from it was that I don't miss the GoldenEye style of objective structure. I think, and I look forward to seeing if other games are gonna try different things with it. I think there's like the idea of a Bond action game that has a little bit of non-linearity to it, that has a little bit of thinking and puzzle and figuring shit out to it, is an idea that I think has a lot of merit. But I think in GoldenEye and in The World's Not Enough, it often, in Agent Under Fire to a degree, it often created situations where I was confused and frustrated as to what I was supposed to do, and the game very frequently had very strict and specific expectations on me as a player, and it felt like the objectives were more about figuring out what the game wants from me as opposed to being a cool secret agent who does cool shit. I think that's probably the one aspect I'm the most excited to see what IO Interactive is going to do with their Bond game, because I think it's short-sighted or narrow-minded, I guess, to expect the Bond game to play like Hitman or to be like Hitman. But I think the Hitman games have shown a tremendous ability of designing very intricate and interesting levels with a million like intersecting options and paths and mechanics that you can very much choose how you interact with. Like, those games are all about you tailoring your own kind of way through each level and mission, and I think that conceptually translates super well to what you would want to do as James Bond. Just sort of add on a layer of action and spectacle to it, because obviously you can have shootouts in Hitman, but they don't feel very spectacular because they're not really kind of meant to. At least that's how I feel. So you wouldn't want a Bond game where you're trying to do cool, clever spy shit and you fuck up and it's a shootout and it feels like where a shootout feels like a punishment. Oh, there goes my phone again. But even though I don't expect the same sort of structure to the levels or the same flow in that sense, like I said, on paper, how they design their levels and how they design the gameplay mechanics is something that I think, if you take that acumen and that experience and skill that they have as a team and a studio, I think they are very well positioned to be able to make a game that leverages a lot of what you would want to see Bond do in a way that's better, more engaging, more sophisticated, more interesting than we've seen in any other Bond game. So I have no idea what to expect, but I think there's an interesting space to explore. So I wouldn't strictly say that having these more linear levels, these more scripted levels, these more kind of set piece roller coaster, because I mean, this is sort of the era of like Call of Duty. The first one was what, 2003, something like that. And I remember playing, I'm not sure if it was 1 or 2, it might have been 2, but I remember playing that and being like blown away by that kind of exciting roller coaster level design. You know, Half-Life had a little bit of that, but it's sort of, you know, it's kind of 1 foot in the Call of Duty camp and 1 foot sort of in the Marathon Doom-esque, like exploring and going around doing shit, you know, for the purpose of completing a level, just with a, you know, a slightly thicker veneer of narrative on top of it, and obviously locations that feel like they make more logical real-world sense than in those games. So I think I liked the console game, and so far I like this for the same reasons of getting you to do all this cool stuff, but it's not like forced through a clunky system where you spend most of the game second guessing yourself and wondering if you've understood how to do things correctly. I think GoldenEye in particular, and I'm sure some of these other games as well, are interesting in that they change a lot once you become more comfortable, like replaying a level that where you actually have completed it, so you know how it works, and just trying to improve on your performance and like retaking that challenge. That, I don't want to say that it makes the issue moot, like as a whole, because it still is an issue in my opinion, that you can have this experience of not really knowing what's going on and what you're meant to do, etc. However, in the moment when you're redoing a level, if you do know what to do, then obviously you won't feel that way at that time. So it probably does make for a more fun experience. I could absolutely see, despite all of my frustrations with it, that GoldenEye does become more fun if you play it more. I still, however, feel when I play this game or these games that I never really miss the way they did it in those games, even if on paper it's kind of more interesting. Because playing through these games once each, like, I'm feeling less frustration and more fun when it's laid out more in this way, more kind of set piece based. Did I save? I guess I did. Yeah. Escape. There we go. I guess I probably don't need the silencer. But yeah, so this whole, like, the room building, everything here is... The general aesthetics is all the same, of course. But the layout seems totally different. A thunderstorm, I guess? Alright, cool. Alright, we got some actual koi in the pond here. So I don't know if I need to go swimming there. It looks like he's waiting for me to go inside here, so... I guess they really do want you to use the Q glasses, because... Because there's a lot of dark rooms. I just see his laser beam. I think I can get a non-lethal bonus for doing that. Did he say we're getting close to the bunker? I remember in the console game, we had the dudes with the red jackets who were like super buff and tanky. But it feels like in this one, it's like easy enough to just shoot everyone in the head. So that's probably not going to be too much of an issue. Might not even be too bad in some of the later levels where it was more of an issue in that game. I'm looking forward to finding out. Leaning doesn't work. This hallway is too tight. I can't lean. Done. Weapon switching is a little awkward.
Right here.
This animation is quite arduous. Alright, I'm gonna go down there in a sec, but let's... I feel like we kind of skipped a whole part of the beginning of the level in this version. Just had these like two rooms that kind of look the same. There was no like walking around. Oh, nice texture scenes. There was that whole part where you kind of sneak around on the rooftops. We didn't really get to see here. Oh well. Easy enough. Yeah, so now we have to rescue his
What you're
geisha
looking for is locked in my bedroom safe. This is the key. Just
harem or whatever.
The dragon.
Right.
Keep your head down. I'll be back for you.
Also, could you wipe the hard drive on my computer? I don't want to leave a data trail for Drake to follow. And please protect my servants. They're like family to me.
I bet they are, buddy. Alright, nice. We got the armor plate, so we save the vest in case we come back here. Yeah, this definitely looks a bit different. There's a part where we can, like, climb out through a grate. I believe if it's the same, we're gonna... That's where we came from. Pop out in the yard. Go through that part. Wait, no. I thought I picked up this little radio device. We're like, what the heck? Oh no, just shotgun ammo. Oh. Trying to interact with this thing. I guess I'm not going up this way. Maybe I am going up back the other way. That's where we came from. Let me
Don't let innocent people die.
see about that. That's interesting. Like the load, the you know, going to a different level area icon was there. They were like traversing back and forth. That's interesting. It's just like I wasn't expecting that because that's not how it's been before. Oh wow, okay. Retrieve the code key. So there's 5 hostages. That's a bit different. I don't think there were that many. And we didn't really have it as objectives laid out that way. Okay, so I guess we just back out and go out through the front door or whatever. Or the door that we were not allowed to open before. I see. Save. Yeah, we'll throw down a quick save, I guess. Why not? I mean, yeah, I think there were, I think there were 3 hostages, but and we had the objective to, like, rescue them, but it wasn't, like, laid out as a checklist the way it is here. Figured I'd want to be a little stealthy, but I guess they had other plans. Running around in hardwood. It's pretty funny, by the way. He didn't see me, and then I crouched, and then he saw me. It's also nice that the laser sight isn't pointing anywhere close to my actual reticle, but I also have a scope in which I don't see the laser sight either. Oh. Seriously seems a little questionable. Or I'll just grab a Kevlar vest from the wardrobe. I feel like the rooms were more decorated. I feel like there's a lot more of these like very samey, very plain rooms in this game. Like the lighting is pretty nice, and we have some decoration and detail. Like what's here isn't bad looking, but in terms of like furnishing and everything, it just seems a little barren. I'm probably misremembering. Oh, actually, a better way of putting it isn't necessarily that it's barren, but more like there's so many rooms, not a lot to set them apart. There we go. Oh, where are these breaking glass sounds coming? Like, I'm already feeling a little lost as everything is... and feels a bit samey. Oh, I'm gonna Stuck in a closet. I really liked the level design in the console game generally, because I felt like they did such a good job of even the slightly more open-ended levels. Hello? Oh. Even the more slightly open-ended levels did a good job of not opening up too much to you at once, and you always were kind of led along. Like, it didn't give you too much room to completely wander around and get lost. And even someone like me, who's like a pretty bad sense of direction and can easily get lost if I don't have a map and everything. Where you like open everything even though there's nothing. Compared to like World's Not Enough, for example, or GoldenEye, I felt pretty comfortable navigating the levels in Nightfire on console. And I haven't had an issue with it at all in this game so far. But this level is a bit different. Well, this is totally different. In the console game, his computer is like in this little bungalow in the garden, and you have to use some kind of gadget, I think, instead of just blowing it up. But I could be misremembering. I'm pretty sure it's not raining in that version either.
Help me!
Also, this library doesn't exist. Remember that. Dude, I can't even see where my fucking reticle is. This vision mode. So funny, when you run out of battery, you have to like abort whatever you're doing with the gun to take off the glasses too. Geisha hostages aren't floating. Yeah, they're also not hanging out in their bath towel or whatever. Like, that's the thing, I was a little confused in the intro to this level, the cutscene, seeing the girl in that dress. I was like, man, I don't remember seeing them in those dresses. And here, of course, that's what they're wearing. But maybe that's why I was confused. I don't know if all of them were in towels in that game, but at least the first one came across. These reflections are pretty strange. Okay, here's a... Okay, this part looks pretty similar. These rooftops with the skylights. But I think the roof tiles are a different color. I don't think they were blue. Can I even get over there? Like... Wah! I'll try to do a daring stunt. Oh, I'm running very quickly, am I? Okay, that didn't work. There's no, like, sprinting. Yeah, there's definitely some voice clips that are the same for the guys. Some I'm not sure. And the hostages, like, definitely have... There are stuff that's different. Nothing here we can... Wait, like, dude, how am I supposed to tell where I've been and not? I feel like it's... possible. See if there's bullet holes, I guess, but... Oh, wait, that's... Okay. I saw the icon after I pressed the button. Okay, so this is the start of the level, I think. Dude, yeah, the geography of this is like... I'm so confusing. I walk up, press the button, and then the icon shows up. And there's like a delay in between, and I've already like started exiting. Okay, I thought I went back to where I came from, but I guess I didn't, because this is a different area. There's guys here. So we just gotta... Okay, bedroom safe. Oh, another area. Stop myself there. these guys with long hair are not in the other game. When you see the tracers from the bullets like going through the camera from behind and hit right in front of you, that's like, I think I'm being shot at. There is like a kitchen area in the other game, and there was a hostage there. But I guess there isn't here. Main garden viewing pavilion. Front car park. Bathhouse. Car park. There's like a driveway at the very, very end of the mission in the other game, but you don't go there before you're done with all this. Like, the descriptions certainly don't... Like, in some cases, I might be able to tell. Like, oh yeah, that's probably the bathhouse. That's probably the whatever. But not all of them are very helpful in that regard. And certainly plenty of them are not helpful to help you find the place. So this area actually does look very similar to one. Yeah, because this is... it looks like the pavilion where its computer is. That you destroy or hack or whatever. Okay, I guess the rain is really loud. Oh, there's a hostage there. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's a viewing pavilion. Makes sense. Alright, you're welcome. I'm just trying to figure out how I might get to the bathhouse. I think it might be through this way to see if we can do the same ambush trick in this game. But yeah, it's interesting. Some of the enemy models are basically the same, and some of them are definitely different. Looks like something. Dark as shit, but looks promising. Whoa, where does that lead? Wait! Okay, I guess it's this level transition. There probably was an icon at the bottom there, but my entire screen was green, so I couldn't see it. How do I climb up a ladder? There we go. This isn't the bathhouse. Oh, I guess it is. I guess that wasn't a Bond move. Or maybe?
You saved my life. How will I repay you?
Yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't think about it too much, but that cutscene we just saw is rendered fully in real time in engine in the other game. And I think this game like doesn't really have scenes like that. Every time there's some little interaction... Alright, she's just over here hiding. We get this little FMV, and some of them are taken from that game. I think... Yeah, because in the cutscene I was wearing the gray suit, but here I'm wearing... Well, I was gonna say I'm wearing the black tuxedo, but I think it's more that you just have tuxedo arms, regardless of what outfit your character's wearing. Enemies' awareness seems very questionable. Not to say that they have poor awareness. Sometimes they have shockingly good awareness and can suss you out in completely unreasonable ways from unreasonable distances. And sometimes you shoot their buddy at like 12 meters away and they don't have a care in the world. But yeah, so the guy with the long hair are not in the console game. The guys with like the shirts and vests I don't think are in that game. But you have the guys with the red coats or the red jackets or whatever they had bald guy. I think they usually had like the red coat and the shotgun. And those guys are not in this one. Not the viewing pavilion again. Oh yeah, because there was a load screen when I went to the bathhouse. So I just went back to the previous area. I think calling this game flawed and cheap is being quite harsh. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's just most of the things I'm pointing out aren't things that are necessarily worse or less polished than the other game. It's just like differences. I think based on what I would expect from a PC single player first-person shooter, this is like very decent. I think it's, you know, yeah, this feels like it probably has, like, the console game feels more expensive, I guess. I mean, you have the multiple studios working on the different types of levels and everything. This feels a little bit sort of stripped down in some ways, but still, I mean, we've played some other games like the PS1 games that really felt constrained and like weirdly small levels and short missions, and just, you know, the general feel of them was like a feel of not a restraint so much as like limitation and constraints. And I don't feel that way about this game at all. So this hallway, I think, leads to the kitchen area, so that must have been where we came from when we got here, I think. Let me see if I can just... Okay, there's this little... You can actually get up through a little staircase here in the console game. No such luck here. Because obviously I shot the dude in there from a distance. I could be able to get in from this. I'm just trying to figure out where I have and have not been. We have the front car park to figure out where there is, how to get to it, etc. And there is the his bedroom with the dragon safe. Yeah, Gearbox wasn't like mega established at this point. All right, let's try to not just go completely in circles. I don't know. I think I am literally doing that right now, though. So there was the underground tunnel I took to get into the bathhouse. Continue. I went through the tunnel and I went up the ladder, but the tunnel continued. Maybe I should try to see where else I could go from there. I can't quite figure out if I can get up there or enter someplace else. This area, I came from here somewhere, because I think I went through this hallway, and then I like jumped over this railing, and then realized I can shoot this guy to rescue the hostage. Oh, maybe I climbed that piece of string to get... Oh, oh yeah, it looks conspicuous, those rocks. I still want to figure out the bathhouse tunnel. It's a little silly, but... Aha, yep. And yeah, I am wearing the gray suit. No stamina meter in this one. Oh, do I need to like shoot these down or something? I do. Of course. But yeah, there's this layout and other places, like there are similarities. The areas don't quite connect the same way. But not only the fact that there's more hostages, but even in general, like the whole idea of this part feeling quite sprawling and sort of open-ended. There's like more going on here. Well, more going on, I guess, is not a great way of putting it, because the issue is more that there really isn't anything going on. Very big and empty. The level feels longer and larger. Right, so this would have been where I came from. But this, yeah, I'm not sure how this all... Okay. I want to see... Yeah, so this is where I came through. Yeah, okay, so let's try to go here. Forget that other underwater tunnel. The bathhouse. Green fades, okay. I mean, I think it's fair to say I feel like I like the level design, the map layouts in the console game better than this. And, oh, there's the whole party. Oh, there's a second guy. This might be where the safe is. Looks like some kind of private quarters, but everything looks the fucking same. Like, there's just more... There we go. Okay. This didn't look quite as cool in this version. Code key retrieved. Alright. Front car park, and then we have to figure out how the fuck we get back to the... bunker. Like this part of the level in terms of mission objective and what you do and how things work, like, we're already kind of the least interesting or exciting part of the level in the console game. Arguably one of the less interesting or exciting parts of the game. And here they've kind of taken that part and made it longer with more stuff to do, or like more people to rescue. And the map is more geographically vast. Right, so we were here before, and this is where I tried to jump. Yeah, I tried to make that jump and I fell down, and did I go that way? I don't know where I went. I don't think I went this way. Oh, we might have been here earlier, who knows. But because there's, you know, we have no... There's no, like... Well, I've been here, of course. There's been nothing to, like, establish the geography of the level beforehand. There's no frame of reference. There are no real landmarks. Like, yeah, there are rooms like the library that's unique, but you won't know that until you're in the room. And doesn't help you navigate the rest of the level. Now the mirrors are all fake. That's to be expected. This is the start of the level. Okay. But I guess that means... Okay, is this a front door? Front car park?
Talk if you want to live.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I will say that's one thing that I kind of hate about this game. That we've seen in multiple levels, doors that are locked, and once I've passed some other arbitrary trigger of progression, they are now unlocked, and there's no narrative explanation, there's no signposting to let me know that that's the case. So this door, like, I'd been in this room and I'd pressed E on this door and I got a like locked door sound. Typically you would expect that to communicate, no, this door is just decorative, don't worry about it. Oh shit, we got more ghosts. No shit, I get it. These guys aren't ghosts. These are the guys I knocked out. They woke up and they didn't have guns, but they still went at me like this, but they could still, you know, melee me. That's pretty funny. Alright, well, I wonder if I get the non-lethal bonus if I kill them afterwards. They wake up, but they wake up, you know, I come back here like half an hour later, 45 minutes later. But yeah, like normally in a game like this, if you try to interact with a door and you get like a, you know, just the locked door sound, typically that signals that the door is decorative. Don't bother. Like the game sort of apologizing for. Okay, this is, yeah, there we go. The game sort of apologizing for making the door conspicuous enough for you to even try opening it. But in this game, it can mean that, but it can also mean, oh no, you should come back here later, when there's no reason in particular why this game, why this door should have now been unlocked, but it will be. And that kind of sucks. I just realized the level is not going to be done yet, but given that this section was so much longer, we might be heading right towards the end of the level now.
We're finished here, Mayhew. Let's go. What about Kiko? Haven't seen her? She's a big girl. I'm sure she can take care of herself.
Oh yeah, we don't. This is new. I think.
Wait here.
Because the ninja model looks different. Fuck, I'm getting extra gaslit now. So it feels like this cutscene is in the console game, but this ninja character looks totally different. And he obviously looks different in the cutscene too. Did he just fucking teleport? Alright, that's pretty sick. Like, not the most exciting boss fight, but pretty cool. Like, it's a bit stupid that it's just a dude that I need to shoot 800 times. Like, my least favorite kind of boss design. Oh, okay. Yep, he's warping. No flash, no smoke, just tossing nothing to the ground and disappearing. Almost dead. I haven't saved in a while. Ooh, I think we got him. Like these cutscenes that are obviously
you found in my safe.
Like pre-rendered.
The Nightfire evidence. The Phoenix building in Tokyo.
Tokyo?
You need the password to the mainframe. It's Afterburn.
I thought the evidence was here, Mayhew.
A little extra insurance policy to keep me alive. A lot of good it did me.
I was pinned down. Alex. I promise you, Drake will pay.
Kiko, you're not safe here. Come with me.
All right. 0 out of 3 Bond moves. I got 2 non-lethal bonus. Sick. I have a bunch of things to say, but I don't want to talk all over the cutscenes here. I don't recognize this. I think this is all different.
Alex's code key and password should get you into the Phoenix mainframe, but they'll have the whole building locked down.
Maybe not.
Anything can be penetrated with the proper tool.
Oh, that's his
These
cube.
are magnetic grapples. Use them to climb metal surfaces should a more conventional entry
yeah.
be difficult. Tranquilizer darts for inconveniently placed guards, silent and non-lethal. A decryptor to hack computers. Keypads, elevator controls, etc. And finally, I'd like to show you the Q-worm. Plug this virus into one of their computer terminals, and the worm allows MI6 to monitor their systems.
James, we should get moving. The guards change shift in a half hour.
Yeah, like parts of that were kind of the same-ish, and parts of it were completely different. But I'm so confused because I thought whenever we saw these sequences that are clearly more like pre-rendered with more sophisticated lighting and everything, because that's what like all of the pre-rendered stuff looks like in the console game. I figured like, all right, so those are the console FMVs, and then when we get these like really grungy ones that use like in-game graphics or whatever, oh, those were the ones that were rendered in real time on console. But here they're video, and they reuse a few of them, but also have a bunch of new ones that they make with the models and the levels and everything from this game. But then we had this like pre-rendered video of Bond and Mayhew escaping and the ninja assassin showing up. But the ninja's different from the console game. I'm like so confused. I'm starting to think that none of the FMVs are from the console game. Some of them are just like recreated to look almost identical and use either the same voice lines or just like the same dialogue script but re-recorded. Like, I feel like I have to see a side-by-side to figure out if I'm insane. It's like so jarring that some of these things are very clearly obviously different because they're like in levels that don't exist in either version of the game, or they're like, I think they're identical, or they're like, well, it's mostly the same lines of dialogue, but I can tell that it's not the same because it doesn't look the same, or the models are different, or something. And it's like it goes over this spectrum back and forth, and it's like it's confusing me every time. No remark on the Q worm from James this time. Maybe that was a thing. I like, that's the thing too, I don't remember the specifics, and this is exactly why I didn't want to put off playing this game any further. If I'd played it like super immediately back to back, I'm sure we would have noticed even more differences. But it's a weird one. But yeah, so this is the mission where we sneak into the Phoenix Corp offices. And I thought this was so awesome in the original game. They came out at the same time, I think, more or less. But the one we played first, where you have this entire stealth level, which again, not very big, but you sneak through these offices, and then a little bit later, we have to escape, and it's all gunfights, and like everything gets sort of recontextualized and different. But because you spent some time sneaking through it, like you already have a good sense of the geography. Like I thought that was really slick. So I'm curious if we're going to see the same thing here. We will, however, not be finding that out tonight. I think this is as good a place as any to stop for the evening. Started a few minutes early, so makes sense that we might wrap up a few minutes early as well. So we cleared 3 levels. We did the first castle level. We did the airport escape. And then we did the Japanese estate mission. I don't know exactly what parts are left and what's going to have level equivalents and which ones won't, but as far as the PC game's 9 missions go, we've completed 3 and we have 6 remaining. I think this game is going to overall be a smoother experience, especially given the save and load stuff being quite generous. Even if I'm not like abusing it like crazy, I'm fine using it to make for a streamlined, smoother experience. But we finished the first game in 2 streams, and I feel like given the time we've played this, if we give this a chunky Saturday stream, it's entirely plausible that we might finish it. But we'll see. We'll see. We won't get stuck on underwater submarine levels, hopefully. Even though the manual does imply there's going to be some underwater action, but we don't have to deal with the annoying car and torpedo and lack of checkpoints or anything, at least. So far, the stuff that's been different has been really cool and interesting, and the stuff that's been the same has been, in a lot of ways, maybe not as good, but in other ways, kind of interesting and cool in its own right. I thought in the first level, there were things that at least aesthetically, visually, the first level looked pretty great. So it's going to be really fun to compare, like, the rest of the game, too. So yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out. Before we wrap up, let's see. Whoops. Won't play any audio while I'm out of the game, so let's get some other jams going here. let's see if we can find someone else streaming. I feel like I saw like 4 people I follow go live like in my first 10 minutes of streaming, so I reckon there will be some people to usually I have more problems with too many people to raid than not enough, so appears to be the case now as well. Ooh, Moss Bias is streaming. They haven't been streaming much last few weeks. Always a super chill time there, so why don't we give them a raid? Playing Opuna. That looks like a comfy time. Thank you very much again for hanging out. This was fun. I look forward to continuing this. Most likely, we'll just keep going on Saturday and see how it goes. So if you are up for more Bond, that would be a good time to tune in. Let me also drop some links. Chill a little bit. Feel free to check out my Discord, my website, etc. Not all that stuff is super updated, but I have been posting some recent Games Bond videos up on my YouTube channel, as well as some viewer's choice fighting games. So I've been catching up a little bit on VODs and updating my YouTube. So if there's stuff that happened that you didn't yet get to watch, feel free to check it out there if you prefer. I know that browsing VODs on Twitch can be a little bit of a nuisance, to say the least. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out. Have a nice rest of your night. Let's go say hi to Moss and enjoy more video games. I'll be back Saturday. See y'all then. Peace.